What is up, everybody? Boy, do I ever have a good live stream for you tonight. Let's see, let's make sure all this is working. Um, y'all may or may not have heard of a gorilla by the name of KoKo from back in the early 2000s. Uh, I learned today, I just learned this today, that there was actually a lawsuit that was filed against the gorilla who apparently had some tendencies to want to see boobies, nipples. And as I was going through, I read the lawsuit and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't know about this. It's wild, you know? Sorry, I got some notifications going off here. Um, but I wanted to share it with you because one, we cover lawsuit type stuff. And I just thought, the internet is so full lately of like these frivolous lawsuits. And I read this one and I thought, how the hell can you sue a gorilla for wanting to see nipples? We're going to have to be real careful on this live stream, y'all, not to violate TOS because I don't know, exactly what the limits are. But we were talking about a gorilla with an IQ of allegedly her IQ was around 90, which for those of you that have been following the channel, you probably might know already that is above generally specifics IQ. So this is smart gorilla, right? And she had like her own thoughts on life and death and humans and what's fake and what's real and all kinds of shit. So I've spent the day just going down the rabbit hole reading all about just this lawsuit and this animal. And it dawned on me, hey, I've got a friend, right, that I've talked about a couple times. He was on the For Public Safety channel once, who's an actual expert in the subject matter of exotic animals. You guys, put a one in chat if you've ever heard of the Netflix series Tiger King. If you've ever heard of the Netflix series called Tiger King, put a one in chat. I want to see how many of y'all have seen it. I actually brought two subject matter experts for this tonight. I'd say most of y'all have seen the Netflix series Tiger King because, if I recall, it was like the biggest show that has ever happened, at least on Netflix, maybe on television. I mean, everybody. The timing was perfect. It was right during COVID, and my God, that show was wild. That show was absolutely wild. And my friend is no less wild. He was actually the star of season 2 of Tiger King, the Wild Ass Show. And as a special for you tonight, he's going to be on this live stream with us. His name's Tim Stark. So Tim, I got him backstage, but I have another subject matter expert that I'm going to bring up because this particular live stream involves lawsuits over seeing boobies. I thought, hey man, let's bring Flow State in on this because I don't know. I'd kind of call you the booby expert of YouTube. What do you think about that, Flo?
I had never thought of myself that way, but I will accept I'll accept that title. I don't have an issue with it.
I'm just kidding. I thought it'd be fun to bring you in that way.
Yeah, no, we're gonna run with that. I like it.
And then the moment you all been waiting for, the one, the only, Tiger King's Tim Stark. What's up, baby?
Going on, dude?
And as you all probably know, if you watch season 2, Tim's a wild motherfucker and a good friend of mine. I've had to ask him to limit his speech tonight a little bit, even though we're free speech promoters on this platform. If you've seen Tiger King, you know what I'm talking about. But God love this guy. And I thought it would be cool, Tim, to bring you in because, I mean, you have real, actual professional expertise with exotic animals.
I don't care about any of that. I just want to put up a hooray for the booby loving gorilla myself.
It's a wild story, isn't it?
anything that loves boobies is going to get along with me. It's just that.
So you would have had no problem having this gorilla on your place, huh?
None whatsoever.
Would you all look the boobies together, you think?
Yep.
Well, maybe you would have been the recipient of a lawsuit too, then, Tim, because I found this story just fascinating and wild. Apparently, there were a couple of women here. I'll bring it up. I'm gonna share this. Bear with me. I'm bad at StreamYards, but I'm going to share screen with you here. We're gonna take a look at this first. All right. That should be, if I did it right, that should be showing an article of the lawsuit. So, lawsuit over KoKo. Now, this happened way back in 2005, but it's still a fascinating lawsuit. We're talking about frivolous suits on YouTube all the time. So this, I mean, it got resolved. It got resolved in 2005, and I think it led to a settlement. So there may have been factors of it that were at least real enough that that they settled. But lawsuit over KoKo the gorilla's nipple fetish resolved. There's probably gonna be a lot of ads. So there were two caretakers that refused to show their nipples to KoKo. and look here, we'll share it. I don't know if I can.
Well, what was their problem?
Selfish damn women.
Well, and look, KoKo was a female. A female with a very high IQ. Like I believe it was between 70 and 90, which most of you know that's actually about the IQ of a small child.
Which is higher.
That's higher than most of us are.
Is that what you were going to say too, Tim?
I said that's higher than any Kentuckian I've ever met. So.
And look, I was going to say it's definitely a higher IQ than Todd has, generally specific. So
we don't even want to talk about Brick.
Oh my God, Brick's more like a 30. Anyway, so this is a smart gorilla, like even in the world of like Tim, would you think that, like, I mean, your experience with exotic animals, you had, well, why don't you just tell us about some of the animals that you had just tell us some of your experiences.
I mean, I pretty much had damn near anything and everything. I mean, I didn't get all the way up into the gorillas or anything. I've been around, not the gorillas, but I've been around the chimpanzees, which is the next level down, and the great apes and everything. But I mean, they're smart as hell. It's unreal the amount of knowledge they have. They think everything out. I mean, even your little monkeys. I think I had up right at almost 80 different monkeys, different primates. And I mean, they're all so intelligent. But when you get up into that great ape level, you're talking, it's right there. It's like trying to outsmart a damn, it's about like trying to outsmart a third grader. If you give that third grader the opportunity to watch you do something over and over and over, that third grader is going to catch on to it, and they're going to, they double check the locks, they double check, they watch every move you make, everything, and they log it in. So that's what makes them so damn dangerous, in captivity. Period. Is the way they just outsmart you, they outthink you, because you get lazy. You do your normal routine day after day after day. But I mean, I had all the lions, tigers, bears, you name it. I had all kinds of different animals, before they stole them from me and everything. I had it all.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that more later too in this live stream, like especially since the channel that we did an interview on last time got removed. I don't want it to slip people's minds what all you've been through in Clark County, Indiana, no less, with Sheriff Jamie Knoll. A lot of stuff has happened under Clark County with television. You know what I mean? It's wild. But on the subject of these primates, so would it surprise you to learn that this, I mean, according to the experts that were involved with KoKo, not only did this animal know sign language and was able to communicate feelings, even feelings, but she also had a vocabulary of over 1,000, maybe even up to 2,000 words.
Yep.
So, I mean, this was an animal that was actually communicating with empathy and everything, the whole 9 yards. And apparently she wanted to see boobies. That's what she wanted. She wanted to see boobs.
But why did she want to see the boobs? Do you have any, without being an animal person, do you have any idea why that gorilla would have a damn human boob fetish?
I read a lot about this case today. I mean, obviously, I could learn a lot more. So, I mean, as far as what some of the experts in the field are thinking is, this particular gorilla was separated from her mother. Rejected her. I can't remember exactly what was wrong with her, but her mother
Yep.
rejected her basically right after birth, and so she probably needed that nurturing connection. And since she was raised by humans, it was probably a nurturing thing. Like you've seen cats, just I'm sure
Yep.
tigers do it too, where they, they need and
How much of a nurturing thing though?
that's a good question. And why everybody? Why all the females? You know what I mean? But
Now watch. Now let me explain to you the real animal industry, because I've been into it. I've been in the animal industry for over 30 years. And I will be the first one to flat out tell you and everybody else on this planet, when it comes to the monkey people in this country or in the world, period, we call them the monkey moms. Them bitches be flat out batshit crazy. And I
so
mean, what I mean by that, now, Tiger King was produced by Eric Good, which is a low-life animal rights activist from the get-go. And we didn't know that at the time, but we do now. But he also just produced another show that's called Chimp Crazy that was put out on HBO back in August.
okay.
And the star of it used to be a good friend of mine until she stole a bunch of animals from me. But if you watch Chimp Crazy, there is another lady on there. Tanya Haddix she's the main character in Chimp Crazy. But there's also another lady in there, an older lady that I know by the name of Pam Rosaire. And Pam Rosaire is pretty much one of the renowned chimpanzee ladies in the country. And she's been doing it. Hell, Pam's in her 70s, and she's been doing it since she was like 15 years old. She's had chimps all those years. Well, they even talked to Pam about her relationship with her chimpanzees in this show on Chimp Crazy. She personally nursed 2 chimpanzees
With human breast milk?
on her titty.
Well, that might give a little substantiation to this lawsuit.
That's why this gorilla, I'll guarantee you, if the truth be known, I'll guarantee you the psycho crazy ass monkey thing, whoever raised that gorilla
May have.
had it on a human titty.
And look,
That's
for legal purposes, we are not saying for sure whether we know that she did or
right.
did not.
That's just my opinion. You know,
Well, and with your experience, you say that you have known people who have taken it that far with exotic animals. Yeah.
like I said, Pam Rosaire, they all use the same excuse. Oh, we had a monkey in it, mom abandoned it or whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's the oldest excuse in the animal industry. Anytime somebody gets called out for bottle feeding a baby animal or titty feeding and a baby animal, anything, they get called out for, which is fine. But they make this crap up. They want to nurse them. Like I said, monkey moms are batshit crazy. I mean, they go to the extremes. If you watch Chimp Crazy, Tanya Haddix in this show, she keeps referring to these chimpanzees as her children. They are my children. That is my child. That is, and it's like, no, you psychotic dumb dingbat. That is a damn chimpanzee. That is not your child, but that's the way these people. So I'll guarantee you, like I said, it's just my opinion. But the way I read that article that you sent me today on this gorilla, it sounds to me like the lady in charge who was trying to get these other 2 ladies to show their boobies to the gorilla, she either did it or she knew. She knows why that gorilla has a damn human titty fetish. She knows. You can tell by the way she talked. She knew. She knows why that damn gorilla wants them boobies. That's security to them. That was that gorilla's blanket growing up.
And if you look at this, it potentially substantiates what Tim is saying. So Tim, what you're saying is a lot of the crazy shit that we saw on Tiger King and the exotic animal industry, Like there is a lot of crazy shit, right?
Oh, there's a lot of crazy shit, but it's no different than any other, you know, I mean,
Humans are crazy.
this whole damn country and this whole world's screwed up. So, I mean, it's
Right.
not the animal industry, but there are a lot of batshit crazy people in the animal. I mean, in all reality, even myself, you have to be batshit crazy to walk in a cage with lions, tigers, bears, hyenas, and all that bullshit. You got to be batshit crazy. It was my,
That makes sense.
it was my life. It was, I had no fear of animals. I have fear of humans. I don't have fear of animals. You know,
That's a good point.
I've had animals make me bleed, but I've never had animals destroy me.
Oh, yeah.
There's
And
still
you,
time. That's what Steve Irwin thought.
So in this article, it's kind of what according to the women that refused to show their breasts to KoKo, they were pretty much saying that the trainer and staff, and that's who they sued. The lawsuit wasn't actually against the gorilla. But I guess the animal had a tendency, or the gorilla, KoKo, we'll call her KoKo. KoKo had a tendency of, like anyone that she was introduced to, the way I understand it, she would bond with them. And as she was bonding, one of the things she wanted to do was see their boobs or their nipples or touch their nipples. Matter of fact, let me pull up this other. Let me pull this other one up real
That's
quick.
how I bond with women too, by the way.
And that's why I brought you up, Flo. I knew you were a
Yeah.
subject matter expert, you know.
So, Tim, would you see that with primates that were, if a primate wasn't raised by a crazy monkey mom, would they develop a nipple fetish?
No. It had to have been a more or less a taught behavior. That's what I mean. That was something that gorilla was used to. That gorilla was used to having a booby to fondle, nursing on it, or it was just using it as a damn, especially your primates and everything. They're just like babies. They want to hold on to little baby dolls. They want to hold on, to a stuffed animal, whatever. Well, that gorilla may have just wanted to hold on to a boob. You never know. But I would say it was actually literally nursed on a human boob, is what my opinion would be. If it's got that much fetish towards human breasts, then I would say it's because it liked it.
It's possible. That is possible. And I mean, like I can't blame the gorilla, for wanting to try a titty out, especially if it separated from its mom. I mean, it was probably very confused in an upbringing with humans instead of its own environment. But let's watch it. So this particular gorilla, KoKo, she was very famous, and she got to meet a lot of very famous people. This is the bass player for Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea. And Flea had a titty experience with KoKo. Thank you for sending me this, Flo. We're going to play this real quick. Hopefully I got everything set up right. But this is just a short video with Flea and KoKo. And you'll see KoKo likes to play with the boobies.
You're curious about that. I see you've got nipples too. You've got them. Yeah, we both got them. It's kind of a normal thing. Everyone's got a nipple.
Go there?
Nipple, right?
Oh, where do you want to go? You want to go with the blanket?
In the blanket?
In somewhere? Right there? Oh, okay.
Let's just see.
That's nice. We have a plan.
Oh, yeah?
We have a plan.
Blanket plan.
Okay.
I don't know how many females have actually ever turned down Flea, but it looked like Flea got a little nip action from, or KoKo got a little nip action from Flea and decided, nah, no, thank you.
Yeah. She went to call him an Uber.
But you do see, I mean, you can kind of tell by this, like that is, like you can tell. Like, Tim, would you think with your experience that seemed to be sort of a thing that the animal was doing to possibly bond or decide whether or not she wanted to bond?
That could just be a curiosity thing because his nipples look different than her nipples. just looking at it like, what the hell? Why is that there? You know, her nipples don't look nothing like that. So that's not asking to see the nipple. That's just the nipples exposed and hey, looky there, it looks funny. You know, to me, that's just more of a curiosity thing on, you know, why it looks different.
Well, it was established in the lawsuit that by sign language, which this gorilla had more than 1,000 words in her capacity within signage, she would specifically ask to see nipples.
And that's what I mean. If she's asking for it, then yeah, that's a learned behavior. That's something that she's been taught to do. You know,
Right? How else would she know how to sign it?
Those words. When you have 1,000 words, that's a lot of words. And I mean, that monkey was smart as hell. I mean, I knew people that dealt with it. One of the best interviews you'll ever see with KoKo's with Robin Williams.
Yep.
And, you know, and then I went to a Jane Goodall seminar years and years and years ago, which is I can't stand her, but, you know, because she's more or less an animal rights activist pretty much. But, you know, Jane Goodall is very intelligent, but Jane Goodall, it's all her way or no way. Just because she spent time out in the jungle, she's a Miss Know-It-All. You know, no, just because nobody else has been dumb enough to sit out in the fucking jungle as much as you did. That's all that amounts to. You know, anytime you send two people into the same field, you're going to get two different opinions. Right. So nobody else has ever really vocalized their opinions on the big great apes. They have in the last 10, 15 years, but before that, it was all Jane Goodall. Everything Jane Goodall said was the Bible when it came to the big, you know, the great apes and shit, you know. But now I don't remember what that other lady's name was that she was in it too. One of them did the chimps and one of them did the gorillas. I don't remember what the hell the other one's name was. But
there was a couple that did another with bears. Do y'all remember that? I can't remember if it was.
Didn't they die? Series. That dude died, right?
They got killed by the bears. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they lived
imagine
with them
that.
for they lived with them for like 2 years or whatever. You know,
ask me how surprised I am. I'm not.
Talking about dipshit that went out to Alaska and ended up getting ate by all the damn, what's his name? Timothy Treadwell.
That's it. Yeah. Treadwell. Yep. Yeah. Him and his wife or girlfriend.
Girlfriend. He was dumb. She was dumb enough to go out there with him. Yeah.
And they just slept in like a regular tent.
Well,
the season.
Like he was a bear mom. Like I said, he was as batshit crazy as these monkey people are. You know, like I said, I had monkeys, but I didn't. And I loved my monkeys. Hell, I treated them like they were my kids to a certain degree. But I didn't. I still knew they were freaking monkeys. You know, I didn't introduce them as my children. I didn't walk around. Yeah, would I have diapers on them, all that kind of stuff? Yes, I would. I didn't want to get shit on. You know, that was pretty much duh. You know, had nothing to do with monkey or treating it like a baby. I just didn't like monkey shit. So, you know. But
what you said you had chimps?
I didn't have chimps. I had friends of mine that had them, and I was around them enough to where I knew I would have never wanted a chimp. Never.
They seem mean.
The babies, I've held the babies. I played with them, and they're freaking adorable, unfreaking real. How cute and cuddly a baby chimp is. I mean, it'll pull at your heartstrings quicker than holding any other baby you ever have the chance to hold on to. You know, the way they look at you, the way they stare into your eyes and everything else, it's more or less what I always call true unconditional love when it comes to animals. You know, and just the way they looked at you, it melted your heart every damn time. But thing about it is that little baby chimp going to grow up to be a big chimpanzee. And I've seen them big chimpanzees, just like at Tanya Haddock's place, you know, the chimp crazy lady from HBO, you know, no, I've watched some bitches are so strong and just so quick. And you can sit there and watch them think everything out, you know.
Did you see that case? There was a case where a woman had a full-size chimp and her daughter was over to visit, the way I understand it. And the chimp was getting old and grouchy. And the chimp just freaked out on him and killed the woman's daughter. And she was on the phone with 911. She's like, when you get here,
that whole story is on this Chimp Crazy show. It's on it, you know, and then the other one is too with Charlotte Nash, the one that got her face ripped off. by the damn the famous one that we got her face ripped off. Well, I call her damn. Well, hell, I don't know if that would get us kicked off or not.
Oh, if you think it will, then don't say it.
Damn it! And I was gonna make a damn good what's her name? Nancy Pelosi joke. Daggone it.
You were close. Unless I know what's happening, maybe you could type it in the back chat first and we can approve it. There's a reason he was the star on Tiger King, y'all.
Flung more fuck words than any other shows ever heard. I can promise you that.
So, Tim, talk about getting connected to your animal, to these exotic animals a little bit.
Now, before we move on, though, I have a question on my end about have you guys heard of Oliver the Human Z?
I've heard of Oliver. Yeah.
I've no.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's all a made up bullshit. It's like Sasquatch.
Okay.
What? There was a real Oliver, wasn't there?
They tried to say that it was part human, part chimpanzee. Yeah.
I thought they actually had footage of the chimp communicating with people and stuff.
I don't believe none of it.
You think that's all made up?
Yeah, I don't believe any of it. Yeah. If it was done once, it had already been done more than once. Somebody would be doing it just to make money. I mean, it's just that simple. We hybridize all kinds of stuff, just like with the big cats when we hybridize them. Why did anybody ever start hybridizing big cats? Because the money that was involved in it. It's that simple.
Speaking of, so Tim here, you had a case that actually made case law because the state wanted you and your money and your fame so bad that, if y'all seen this on the Channel 4 Public Safety before it was gone, you would know what I'm talking about. But the state of Indiana just went nuts on Tim once he, achieved the television show, all the exotic animals and all this. And he had an exhibit that was extremely popular and very successful called Baby Tiger Petting. Was it called, Tim?
Tiger Baby Playtime.
And you could, if you had never had experience with these tigers or whatever, you could go to Tim's exotic animal farm, and he's very well maintained farm, by the way. These animals were absolutely beautiful. They didn't smell bad. They were, just, beautiful animals. And he had these baby tigers. It was so freaking cool. How much did you charge? Like $30 or $40, wasn't it?
$25 a person is all I charge. That's why I made it so famous, because everybody else, you go to like Doc Antle at Myrtle Beach and go into his show, it's going to cost, it's like $485 a person.
Whoa. Yeah. Yours was very affordable.
25 persons, all I charged. And I had people coming from all over the country. I actually had one lady flew in from Germany one time. Another one flew in from fucking France one time. Just because they got off the plane and drove straight to my shows.
Yeah.
And that's because I was so damn affordable, they could afford to do it.
Right. Yeah. You're saving, it's probably cheaper than the other ones.
I did it because I loved entertaining people. I loved letting people don't understand, like when the new Bass Pro Shop went in there in Clarksville, Indiana, I was down there with animals all the time. They invited me down there. I had we did photo shoots with Tiger Baby. Then I would go down there because that's what I lived for. I would just take an animal, a baby bear, a baby hyena, a damn monkey, whatever, and I would just go to Bass Pro on my own and just sit down there for 6, 8, 10 hours at a time, just entertaining people. I didn't charge a freaking penny. I didn't do none of that shit. Tim Stark was never on payroll. I created Wildlife in Need in 1999 and got shut down until 2020. So for 21 years, I never charged a single penny for any. I refused to be put on payroll.
Right.
And that was the downfall of me. Simply, that's how they ended up taking me out and taking me down, is because they said I misappropriated funds because I was using money to put it in my gas tank or whatever from the nonprofit organization. And it's like, I lived for that organization. Everything I did, everything I owned, everything I had revolved around the animals, period.
So if you drove anywhere using that gas, it was for the animals anyway.
That's right.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Seems like business travel to me.
But yet they never, here's the funny thing about it. After all the years of the lawsuits and shit, even though I lost every fucking thing you could ever imagine losing in your entire life. I mean, I lost family, friends, business, my animals, my marriage. It cost me I lost vehicles, my home. They left me 110% penniless, and that kind of shit is the overreach in this country that I want, like I told people the other night, I want my revenge. I'm like Donald Trump. The only difference is Donald Trump ain't allowed to say it. I am. I want my revenge against these people that did this because, like you were saying earlier, the Indiana Attorney General, the only reason they attacked me, they jumped on board with PETA. A lot of people have not knowing who PETA is. That's the organization, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. They are still, they always have been, they are on the FBI's terrorist watch list and everything else. But yet, I had not just one, the Indiana Attorney General, but also had USDA, who I was licensed through. They all collaborated together with PETA in charge. PETA telling them exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. They created false evidence against me. And they created a 41-page false inspection report on my property.
They did.
I've got 1,000% proof of every bit of it.
Yeah,
but
I've seen it.
Created this shit. And this is the type of stuff that I want people to understand you go through in this country when you deal with, organizations like PETA. They've let them get too strong. Carol Baskins from Tiger King, that bitch Carol Baskins.
Yeah.
That bitch Carol Baskins. Well, she is one of the upfront runners of all of the nightmare caused within the animal industry because she's always had the money because she stole it from her husband she killed. So, she's always had the money. She was one of the first ones that was using the internet, and she started gaining all this damn followers and shit. So she's had a 20-year head start on everybody else in the industry. She was already scamming people for 20 plus years along with PETA. I call them all the same thing because they all work together. Carol Baskins is PETA. PETA is Carol Baskins, HSUS. They're all the same.
Didn't she brag about working with PETA?
Oh yeah.
During Tiger King.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot like snitches with the government in that industry, right? Like, like you can have people that'll flip sides and really be working for the other.
Yep.
And all it really is just a big who can win the grift market, right?
Well, it's the only industry I've ever seen that they allow, like in my case, back when I was up and running, doing my shows and all that kind of shit, we run a nonprofit organization. You rely on volunteers. And hell, if you're going to do a background check on every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes up to volunteer for you, you'll never hire anybody. You'll never have anybody. Everybody's got something there. You wouldn't hire anybody. You wouldn't let anybody on your freaking property. So you pretty much just got to overlook that bullshit. But PETA literally sent an undercover spy onto my property to volunteer for me. He was there for 4.5 months. And that was during the time when all of my bad shit went down. I had tiger babies. Declawing went bad. They ended up dying. This, that. Ain't that a weird fucking coinky dink?
Not necessarily. I think you're spot on.
You damn right. And then I identified this, months later through the court systems and everything. I identified this undercover spy they sent on my property. And then they tried to get me nailed because I put his driver's license on the internet. I didn't redact his damn, fuck him. I didn't redact nothing. I put every bit of information up on him, and I'll do it again today.
You know what? That's actually not illegal in Indiana. It probably ought to be, though. I
didn't care if it was or not. Fuck me, I'm gonna fuck back. It's just that simple. And the judge ended up ruling in my favor on that one. That I outsmarted them. I figured out they were trying to get some kind of damn order to protect the identity of their undercover informant. And I figured out who it was and plastered it all over the internet before they got their order signed. And the judge said, hey, Mr. Stark, outsmarted y'all.
So when it came, what do you think? Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the case law that was made. It was against you. Am I right? Like, weren't they trying to like stop you? So they created a case law, if I remember right, or am I backwards?
Well, it goes way back before that. I've had trouble with the government since, I guess, roughly 2006. So it goes all the way back to them days where I had another case back then to blah, 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 blah. I won't bore your damn listeners to it and everything. I ended up pleading guilty, and it had to do with an exotic animal, trafficking an exotic animal. I was not guilty. My piece of shit lawyer had no clue what the hell he was doing. And it come down to where I just had to make a plea bargain and to get out of it. And so I did that, blah, 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 blah. 7 fucking years later, that case got settled in 2008. It drug out for 2 years. I pled guilty in 2008. In 2015, PETA tried to use that judgment against me to have my federal USDA license revoked.
Mm-hmm.
So they forced USDA to file lawsuits against me and shit. I beat them. They filed again. Or they appealed. I beat them again. So then they come up with this big bullshit lawsuit. USDA filed their lawsuit first. And then a couple months after that, PETA filed their lawsuit against me. It was a couple years later before the Indiana Attorney General got involved in this shit. And that's another whole story within itself, which has to do with that little midget bastard from Tiger King by the name of Jeff Lowe. He turned me in. He's the one that called Indiana Attorney General and told him a bunch of bullshit lies because I was running a nonprofit organization, and he told him that he told him that I owned a golf course and I owned a strip club and that I had like $750,000 I was hiding from my wife and all kinds of shit. So the Attorney General automatically said, oh, he needs to be taken down. And so they started a war with me, and none of it was true. I never got charged, never got convicted, never served a single nothing over none of that shit. But yet, like I said, I lost fucking everything. How do you lose everything when you've never been charged, convicted, or anything else of any kind of crime whatsoever?
Because they come in and they fucking take it. That's how. That's what you and me have in common, Tim. Except for mine was just a little bit of stuff, and yours was everything. A whole nonprofit organization that was big enough to be on Netflix for years. So there was something that they created. I can't remember. It had something to do with an idea or something that you were doing. It was either was it breeding tigers on your facility, or was it declawing them? I can't remember what it was. It was something. Something that made a whole.
They tried to sue me over declawing my tigers. That's what PETA's original lawsuit was for, because they said it was violating the Endangered Species Act. Tigers were put on the endangered species list in 2016 by who? Fucking PETA. So that way they could attack us. There's a whole new story in this, because I could go on and on and on and tell you all about the fucking whistleblower fund that's involved in this, which is taking billions of our tax dollars, which Elon Musk is getting ready to find out real quick that this whistleblower fund even exists, because that's how they're making their money. We've already tracked it all down. I've got every bit of the proof. Nobody else in the fucking country has it but me.
You got more faith. You got more faith in the government than I do with that one, man. But I hope they do find it, because you're not wrong. There's all kinds of bullshit stuff that's being funded and paid for, and money missing all over the place. I mean,
so you're saying, you're saying PETA's in the business of whistleblower fund? That's how the
way the Endangered Species Act works is, Flo, is that with a tiger being on the endangered species list, if you were my neighbor and you thought I was abusing a tiger, you personally any person, which is also an entity like PETA, is considered a person, can sue that individual. And in this whistleblower fund, if you take me to court and you win, then you get this big reward. Now, watch the numbers. Watch these numbers click through your fucking head real quick as I throw them at you. We're going to use Jeff Lowe, the little midget in Tiger King. When he finally got his animals taken away from him, the reason I'm using him is because I remember his numbers. He had 64 big cats when they took them from him. The whistleblowers, PETA, Carol Baskins, all of them worthless pieces of shit, get paid $50,000 per cat.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's huge money.
Now, hold on. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. They also get paid for any and all transportation of moving these animals. They get paid any medical shit, anything goes on with them. Then they also receive a lifetime, more or less, child support for those fucking animals.
So essentially, I mean, obviously, hearing this, what you're going to think is, well, if you want to get rich real quick, all you got to do is find someone with a shit ton of cats and fucking whistleblow. In other words, make false calls and pray that they get them. You know,
you have to be willing to, and that's where the kicker is. You know, like me or you, would you sue your neighbor? No. Why? Simply because once you learn you got to pay for your own fucking attorneys, you're not going to pay that money to fight your neighbor on having something. You're just not going to do it. 99% of the people will not sue when they realize. But see, PETA also knows there's a clause in the Endangered Species Act when you file a civil lawsuit that you can get reimbursed your fucking attorney fees.
It's basically this huge incentive to snitch.
You got to have all that money to be able to put it up front to more or less gamble on. They know they're going to take you down. Why? Because they've got access to my fucking bank account. They know exactly what I had in my bank account. They've got billions of dollars from all these fucking scams they do on anybody and everybody. So you're fighting the money. If
How did they
started my lawsuits with PETA, I would have said, fuck it, I would have never done it. Had I known they were a multi-billion-dollar scamming organization. I didn't know they've got the largest law firm in the world, is what they have. They have their own law firms. They've got their own little pissy ass lawyers that work for them. The largest in the world.
Don't get too upset, Tim. Last time we talked, I had you so upset you're pissed off for 2 weeks straight. So try to keep it light, man. I know this breaks your heart.
I keep it light.
There you go, brother.
That's
so
keep it light.
Flo, you're going to ask a question?
Yeah, I sort of pieced it together myself. I was going to ask how they had access to your bank accounts, but it's a nonprofit, so that would be.
Well, that and they filed like this, so the state filed against him. Y'all put a one in chat if you'd be interested in watching the raid of Tim's property from the Clark County. Well, it's way more. It was the whole state came in on you, didn't it, Tim? Was it FBI?
Oh, hell, they invite them all on there. Shit, I had damn
PETA,
cops, state cops, FBI, U.S. Marshals, damn, you name it, they were there. And
look, we got a video of it.
Locked and ready to rock. I mean, they come in, the whole fucking SWAT team, our buddy Troy, he was there leading the SWAT team and shit, and I mean.
And you had the same guy that was on my documentation. It was AJ, the one that was involved in my raid. He was there. You know what I mean? These are people they're clout chasers. Flo, I don't know if you know this or not, but the sheriff that was over the area that Tim and I both got raided from and live, he's the author of the show 60 Days In and then Narcoland, and it started from Live PD. So like they're kind of like clout chasing, television stars.
Now I know why I didn't have any protection from my county sheriff's department when I was going through all the bullshit. I was begging Jamie No. Me and that little bastard didn't get along at all, simply because I had large, dangerous animals. And according to USDA, you have to have a contingency plan when you own them. You know, if something gets out or whatever, you got to have a plan on what to do, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Right.
I had a good rapport with the city of Charlestown, you know, with the police department there. They were right there working with me all the time. I don't know how many times I tried to contact Jamie No and have, you know, I needed to sit down and have a, you know, talk with him, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in helping you. I'm not, I mean, that's what the bastard used to tell me. I'm not interested in helping you. I said, you don't know me. I said, Jamie, this is public safety. I've got large, dangerous animals here. And I have to, by law, for my federal license, I have to have a contingency plan, which includes the Clark County Sheriff's Department, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and you were outside of Charlestown City, so it probably needed to be county.
I live in city. I lived in the county, and that bastard would not sit down with me. So I was glad to see when they took his ass out that I was like, yeah, no wonder he wouldn't help me. He was too damn busy stealing from everybody else.
And trying to clout off of you, because his biggest clout chasers from television were the ones running the raid at your house.
They all had that motive. Oh, you might get to be on Tiger King too. Tiger King was one Netflix series of all time. They
talked about it in the video.
You're damn right.
They talked about it. Oh, we're gonna be on Tiger King. That's what they were fucking there for. You kidding me? Right. They wanted to be on Tiger King.
It's wild to have somebody who is that clout chasing or fame seeking being in a law enforcement position. It's a bad combination of incentives.
It's illegal for a reason, you know what I mean? Like a conflict of interest. It really is. Like, it's illegal for them to utilize their positions to do anything to make any money. And that's one of the things that really brought Jamie down. Well, I mean, because we found that he was getting paid, Tiffany and I did, and turned it in. They didn't put it on the records as far as being what they investigated for and busted him on, but I can assure you that was one of the biggest factors that connected his Genco, the money laundering thing. That's the same one that was going back and forth with the television payment stuff. I know that for a fact. I was part of turning that in. But so I think we got a lot of votes on there on the ones that, people are interested in seeing your raid, Tim.
Well, if we're going to show the raid, then we'll want to focus on one specific part in that raid. They were there for like almost 5 hours during my inspection. Mm-hmm. We're going to be showing inspection. We'll be showing my inspection, and they were there for roughly 5-6 hours. Phil Rizzo, which was the deputy attorney general at the time, little old geeky dork bastard, he decided he was going to buck up to me and try to boss me around during this inspection. And to me, I don't tolerate that shit.
No, you fight fucking tigers, man. So
we got into it, and you got to remember, this was on March 6th of 2020 is when this inspection was. Now, I've got all kinds of damn county police there. Damn Jim Heil, all them guys, they're there. They had to be there for protection, blah, 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 blah. 6 fucking months later, Phil Rizzo files assault, battery, and intimidation charges against me. Only because that's another whole story within itself. That was so when they caught me, because I was in upstate New York, they could extradite me back down to Indiana. That's how hell-bent they were on me. But Phil Rizzo filed these charges against me. They had the Tiger King footage. The Tiger King film crew was there that day. And they had their footage of me and Phil getting into it. And you can hear me. Somebody steps in front of the camera. They had no video whatsoever. All they had was more or less an audio. And you could hear me and Phil get into it. And you could hear me tell him, I'll whoop your fucking ass.
Yeah. I've got it. We have that footage.
That's right. And
that'll be in that.
But the thing about it is you got that footage, but on these videos that people are going to get to see, this is coming off of my fucking camera, not Tiger King's camera.
Right.
My people was wearing a GoPro. So you're going to get to actually see Phil Rizzo poke me in the chest.
Yep.
And then, then you get to hear me. So he assaulted me. He's the one.
Right.
Assault, battery, and everything else. And plus, He was under court order. We all were. The Attorney General's office, they were allowed to attend and be there during this inspection only to observe. It specifically states that in the court order. But yet this little bastard, I'm in charge, you're going to do it my way. You don't nobody comes on my property and talks to me that way. It don't fucking happen.
Right.
It just don't happen. I knew I had, like I told him, I said, no, I am under court order to show you all this shit, and that's what I'm going to do. But we're going to do it my way.
Yeah, and you did it though.
There was a big group of people, and I was trying to keep the group together. I wasn't going to allow them to just scatter and shoot all over my fucking property, going anywhere and everywhere. I wasn't going to do it. Had the little worthless bastard from PETA. He was there during this inspection. Why? This lawsuit had nothing to do with PETA. Yeah. But like I said, here they were working in collaboration together. And Jay Pratt, this little worthless bastard from PETA, he's the one that actually made up the 41-page false inspection report. He's the one that made it up.
And that's why I want to show it, because, okay, for multiple reasons. For one, I want people to see the encounter that you actually had with, what was his title?
Deputy Attorney General?
The Attorney General, because the Attorney General goes off and uses Tiger King footage later on and says, that man assaulted me. No. You need to see the actual incident. We got that for you.
Right.
And then I want people to see what it was that the inspectors were seeing as they went through, because to me, okay, so picture this, if you will, guys. Imagine being invited to do a tour behind the scenes at a zoo, okay? Behind the scenes, like back where they do the caretaking and where all the equipment stored and the shops and the vehicles and all that. Now that's kind of the area that Tim was talking about. It's like the private area. And they, like the Attorney General's office during this lawsuit, during this court order inspection, I call it a fucking raid, bro. They had all these random fucking people there. Okay. The people that were just spectating, interested in seeing what goes on I'm assuming interested in seeing what goes on behind the scenes. He had people from PETA there, and they were not like, what the fuck are they doing there?
You can kick them out, can't you? Why couldn't you kick them off?
He was under court order.
And
this is how I knew I was being fucked. When the Attorney General first got involved in suing me, they asked for this inspection. And in the court motion and shit, they asked for an inspection using an animal welfare behavioral specialist, which means one. And we knew that's Jay Pratt's title with PETA, animal behavioral specialist. We knew it was him. And I was like, no, I've got a lawsuit going with them. This is a conflict of interest. You're not allowing that little bastard on my property. They've been trying to get on there. Judge ruled against me and allowed him on during the fucking inspection.
There are very few people in this industry. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about big cats and hyenas and bears, and you know what I'm saying? There's not that many people in the industry. So they really, like, it's a dog eat dog kind of industry. They like a lot of hate towards each other. And now it makes sense. This $50,000 per animal incentive to screw each other out of your animals. And then what happens is that animal, like, they might take Tim's tigers or
this is my last YouTube stream. I found a new job.
And they go to the other farm. So, like, if you're a snitch, right, and you're looking for that incentive, you could literally tell on somebody and then get their animals after getting paid.
Right.
That's so right. It's wild.
They really set that law up in a way to have people fucking each other over bad.
Oh, big time. I mean, the people I stay with right now, I joke around with them and I tell them, hell, let's go get you a couple ringtail lemurs. Fuck, they're on the endangered species list. And then I'm going to sue your ass. And all you do is say, I'm not going to fight you. So here you can have the animal. Not only do I get the animal, I get the fucking reward. I get the whistleblower reward money for
exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. So that
all
they're doing is incentivizing snitching for their own benefit, for their own rewards.
Money's worth a hell of a lot more than the fucking animal is, because in all reality, like if a tiger's not worth $50,000, not now. a tiger ain't worth the powder to blow them to hell and back now. You can't use them for nothing. So at any age, you really can't use them for nothing. So they're as useless as a fishnet condom. They serve no purpose.
But there used to not be any law against declawing a tiger, right? And then it was added to the endangered species laws in your case. Is that the one?
Well, yes and no. They didn't add it in when PETA. This is another way that they got away with their shit on me. When they first filed their lawsuit against me, they were filing their lawsuit because they said that I was violating the Endangered Species Act because I was pulling these cubs from their mother. I was using them for public interaction, and I was declawing them. That's the verbiage that they used. Mm-hmm. Once we got going and we got in court a couple times, I proved to them that declawing a tiger is not illegal. And I proved that. So then they changed the verbiage around. And instead of using the terms declawing tigers, they used the terms unnecessary medical procedure. Mm. And so even though I proved that it wasn't illegal, I mean, that's what I mean. These damn judges, the judges worked for PETA. They worked with them and shit. I dealt with a bunch of Democrat judges, and they worked directly with PETA right there with them. I didn't know that when I first got into these lawsuits. Like I said, I mean, it dragged you. These lawsuits drug out, goddamn, like 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and put me through 90 kinds of hell.
Just to give you all an idea of what it was like at Tim's place, Wildlife in Need. So like he had two sections that like you go park and then you go in, and then there's like two sections. It was like split, and you could pay your ticket to either do the baby tiger petting time, which was so freaking cool, man. And then, or it was the other side, which had like the lemurs and the monkeys and like a lot of animals that'll crawl. Right. But so if you go to the tiger side, what you were doing was Tim would come out. He'd give you a little rundown on, like his expertise with the animals and stuff. And he'd do a little show for you and kind of show you like his relationship with the tiger and stuff, and the hyena, and like all of them, just depending on which animals you had out that day. Right, Tim?
Yeah.
And then you would go into this exhibit like a group at a time, and he'd have you lay on the floor. He'd give you some instructions on how to intermingle with these animals. And they would let the babies out, man. And they were so freaking awesome. These cubs. And I mean, I'm talking like, what do you think, Tim? 40 pounds?
Yeah.
The babies?
They would get up to 40, 50 pounds a piece. I mean, legally, you could use them from 6 to 16 weeks old. So a 16-week-old tiger is going to weigh, 50, 60 pounds, And
they just come in and they just love on you and eat out of the bottle and, hang out with you in the room and stuff. It's a really, really cool experience. They
would bite you. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and deny. Did I have people bleed during some of my shows? Damn right I did. Proud of it. And you know what's funny? The person that was bleeding was damn proud of it too. They got bit by a tiger. They got, it's not, they didn't get mauled by a tiger.
Right.
It's like if I put you in that same room you're talking about, if I put you in there with a damn litter of Rottweiler pups,
right,
you're come out bleeding. They're going to play with you. They're going to rough you up a little bit. These are fucking tiger babies.
I've been in there a few times and I never had a bad experience at all. And yeah, I felt it when I was playing with the tiger. You know what I mean? But I also got a 40 or 30 pound cat. And when he gets to clawing around, I mean, that shit hurts too.
Right.
But it wasn't dangerous in my opinion. And I felt like you maintained it really well. And, and the fact that these animals are having interactions with these groups every day, I mean, that's probably incentive for someone running a show like that to make sure that the animals are very well maintained.
Well, I never had a single reported true injury in all the years I did the shit. Not with any of my customers. I never had the first true injury. Like I said, yeah, USDA would write me up because they found out somebody got, bit during a show or whatever. And they would write me up for improper animal handling, blah, blah, blah. They would call it an injury. And I'm like, look, bitch, this is what I used to call my damn inspector. I was like, look, bitch, I said, that ain't no damn injury. I'm a damn United States veteran. I've still got damn comrades coming back from overseas, missing arms, missing legs, missing eyeballs, dead, whatever. Those are fucking injuries. These things that people are leaving right now with because they got a Band-Aid stuck over it, that's a fucking boo-boo.
All right.
That's not an injury. You know,
Right. And you know what you're getting into when you go in there. Like
right. And I would, and you know, I don't know if you remember, but a lot of times I would tell people during my show, you're here to play with tiger babies. You're here to play with exotic animals. If you think you cannot get bit, scratched, or any of that kind of shit, if you're that stupid, please get up and remove yourself from my show. That's what
if you're watching this right now, let me go ahead and back Tim up on this. The way he just said that was word for word how he says it in front of the audience. He's like, if you're fucking dumb enough to get bit by a goddamn thinking you're not going to get bit by a fucking tiger in here, he'd say, get the fuck out of here. Like you really lived up to your character, brother.
I was real. I tried to be real with people and straightforward with people. I wasn't there to bullshit people. I wasn't there to get anybody hurt and to get anybody injured. I was there to let people experience a once in a lifetime opportunity, getting up close and personal with some of the most beautiful, majestic creatures on the planet. You know, and like I said, I had a larger variety of exotic animals than most of your big AZA zoos, like the Louisville Zoo, Cincinnati Zoo, Indianapolis Zoo. That's another reason they wanted to take me down. They got those fucking AZA zoos involved in my shit.
Yeah.
And they are the ones that got to steal all my animals.
Well,
so
I'm going to tell you this too.
They got to distribute over $1 million worth of fucking animals out off my property just like that.
See, there's the incentive. So, because all these people are together. The other thing is this. I've been to the zoo lots and lots of times. And I've been to your place a few times. And there's never been a time where the zoo was even halfway clean in comparison to what you had going on. So you want to talk about like a clean, well-maintained place. I mean, everything was really small, really personal with Tim and a few volunteers and his staff. And they were very much active. So I want to talk about the other side. So you had baby tiger playtime. And then what was the other one called with the monkeys and stuff?
Right. We got at some point we got to watch those clips too.
Yeah, I got them. Yeah, okay. You're right. Sorry.
Exotic animal encounters.
And what that room is like the other side of another tent. And there was like lemurs and like all kinds of like really exotic animals, like cool animals that you probably never touch again.
You never knew what I was going to come out there with.
Yeah, he'd just walk out there with something, just an animal that you're never going to touch again, and just lay it right on your lap, and you'd hang out with it. It was really neat. So anyway, we'll cover all that. Like we'll do a video together because I think I got a lot of ones in chat that want to see that stuff. So we're going to do that in the video form probably later on this channel. So let's get back to the gorilla. All right, let's get back to this breast.
You just want to talk about titties again.
We got to talk about titties because Flo sent me some clips. Okay, and I mean, guys, when I tell you this whole story is like a rabbit hole, I've been watching video clips and reading things all day long, and it really is a rabbit hole. It's very fascinating how smart this gorilla was, and the subject matter behind what might have this gorilla interested in the nipples. Like that's an interesting subject as well. Like this whole thing. But two women literally sued this gorilla because they said they were being pressured to show their tits. And I mean, Flo, I'm just going to give you a little, be careful, because I've seen some people on your YouTube channel asking to see some tits. And after reading this lawsuit, man, I'm afraid for you.
I ain't too worried about it. Why would anybody sue somebody who doesn't have anything? Were they going to take my shirt,
I'm
Mike?
just fucking with you. Anyway. Yeah. But we do have the booby subject matter expert right here. That's what we brought him on.
I got
booby
you.
Subject matter expert. Let's see. Let's watch the one. Oh no, what happened to the clip that you sent? You didn't send me. You sent me the Facebook one, didn't you? With Flea?
Yeah, the one with Flea that we just watched, and I sent you two others.
Hang on, let me make sure, because I'm only showing one more.
One was a blog post that had the Mr. Rogers thing on it, and another one was the Robin Williams was a little stand-up segment.
That was the one. Oh, here it is. Let me resend this to myself. This is the one that I'm missing. The Robin Williams one. You two want to talk for a minute while I get this sent up to StreamYards?
Sure. Sorry, I was dealing with the chat. Let's see. I have some questions. What do you do with the tigers once they get past the age that they can? That was one of them.
Most of the time, Flo, I give them away.
Like a zoo?
I didn't sell exotic animals. No, I was all about private ownership. I deal with the private individuals. I'm all about private ownership in captivity. You know, screw the big zoos. They're just wannabes. You know, it's us people in the damn private sector. We're the ones that deal with the animals. We're the ones that taught those big AZA zoos what they're doing, how to do it, and all that kind of shit. You know, and so I dealt with private owner, private people all over the country, and everybody knew me. You know, back when tigers were worth, you know, $5,000-$10,000 a piece, I was giving them away. You know, I always give animals away. I never, now, yeah, over my career of 30 years or whatever, I probably sold, hell, somewhere between 1 and 2 handfuls, if that, of different animals. I never sold a big cat, period. But a damn, you know, little animal. Like I remember one time I did sell a hyena, and then I've sold a few animals. Most of the time, I give animals away. I don't give a damn what they were worth. I mean, I've gave animals that were worth $30,000. I've given them away. You know, I was all about helping out the industry, helping out the other people in the industry. You know, hooking people up with shit that you don't normally get. I would have stuff bred on my property that would be worth big bucks. I would show up at an exotic animal auction and piss off the auctioneers because I'd be up in the stands giving shit away while they were down there trying to sell shit. You know.
All right, y'all want to watch a Rob Williams clip with the?
Oh yeah.
With the what are we gonna call her? Titty gorilla? Titty loving gorilla?
The previous booby expert.
Right? Yeah, booby expert number 1. Or wait, are you number 1 or number 2, Flo?
Well, I mean, I think that KoKo left me a good legacy. Those are big shoes to fill, but I think I can do it.
I like that. I like the way you put that. All right, here we go.
There is only one animal who can tell you if she is happy and wants to mate. That is KoKo, the silverback gorilla. And she saw me, the blue-eyed simian. She was intrigued. She said to her trainer, and I went, "What does that mean?" "She wants you to tickle her." Okay, I tickle her. She's, "Oh." Okay, then she goes, "What does that mean?" "She wants you to lift your shirt." I lift my shirt. She reaches out and grabs both my nipples. And when an 800-pound gorilla's got you by the tits, you listen. And then a fun thing happened because my balls went, "Somebody wants to play." "Shall we go to phase 2? "No, do not go to phase 2. I repeat, do not go to liftoff. This may feel like a human, but notice the placement of the thumbs. This is not a human. Do not go to phase 2. Warning, warning." But she must have sensed something because she grabs me by the hand, starts to take me in the back, and it's like Doctari meets Deliverance. And I'm expecting the crocodile hunter to walk out and go, "Oh, crikey. She wants to fuck his brains out."
Oh, no. I'm going to put a couple pauses in on this because I don't know if I'm going to get struck. But, God, I miss Robin Williams. How about you all? Put it on the chat if you miss Robin Williams. What an untimely death.
That was a great line. Like I still this whole stand-up special he did, that really wants to fuck your brains out. I still quote that sometimes, but nobody ever seems to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, now they might.
Now they might.
Let's finish this up.
Watch out, boys and girls. Danger, danger, danger. This could be like that time I put my finger in the crux cloaca. Bad news. But part of me went, could be fun. Make a great story for a bar. Guys are going, "I had a wild night in Vegas." Yeah, well, I banged a gorilla. Where's everybody going? And you don't want that late night phone call like, ring, hello? Call me.
Oh man, we got more. There's more. Maybe not as funny as that. That was actually really good.
Yeah, he could definitely tell a story, boy.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Robin Williams, man. That's a whole. He's got a whole story on his own. Let's do the. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you guys. I put a link in the description of this just because I want to give credit where I actually originally found this story. And I mean, it's just an AI like explanation of it or what kind of a factual thing. So I'll show you just the beginning of it up to the point where it kind of references KoKo's fascination with nipples. So we'll watch that real quick next. And then, like I said, in the description, there is a link to the full video for this. Full screen.
Have you ever heard of a gorilla that could drive a car, make jokes, knew over 1,000 words, and even took care of a pet cat? What if I told you that this gorilla had fascinating things to say about death, and even had an answer about what happens after it? But beyond all that, before he passed away, he had a message that he passed on to the whole world in sign language that you will be amazed and shiver when you hear it. On July 4th, 1970, a gorilla born at the San Francisco Zoo was very different from all other gorillas, and indeed from all animals. This gorilla was a being that resembled humans not only physically but also mentally and emotionally. KoKo could communicate with humans through sign language, express her emotional world, and express her feelings clearly. She could easily express all kinds of feelings, from anger to love, from sadness to joy, and could express herself with a human-like consciousness. KoKo also had some strange, and some might say strange, obsessions. For example, her nipple obsession. KoKo, who saw herself as a queen, was a gorilla who could make jokes, drive a car, and even create new words. She had many pets and had strong bonds with these pets.
Yeah, drove a car, had a pet cat. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, check out the link that I put in the description because it's just fascinating, man. It's just fascinating. Like, I mean, like I said, I mean, this gorilla had an IQ higher than Todd, bro.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I've seen the chimpanzees driving golf carts and all kinds of shit by themselves and driving up, stopping, parking, same way freaking we do. Yeah,
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's wild. But yeah, I think there was some psychological stuff going on with this, and I think the lawsuit was frivolous to an extent, or at least I don't know, like in Tim's world, because obviously this exotic animal world is just fucking nuts. In his world, I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't think there was a demand necessarily from a gorilla. Like, I mean, I don't know. 700-pound animal says, "Show me your fucking nipples" in sign language. Like,
I'd show him.
show me your, you know,
I'd be like, all right.
Does anybody in here do sign language? I don't know. Tell us how we do. Show me your nipples now, or you die, or whatever.
Maybe she thought they were breast.
But I do think that there was some legitimacy to it too. You know, in some of the factors or whatever, like, you know, if you're hired to go there and be a trainer or whatever, or work with the trainers, then I mean, I think the bonding might be necessary. And that's why I brought Tim up, because I feel like he, you know, having experience with exotic animals and with this type of a world of animals, like for me, I know it's way out of my realm to fully understand. And I thought, well, you know, what better friend to have that I might be able to bring up to kind of talk about it than Tim. So any more you want to say on it, Tim, as far as the lawsuit aspect or like what it entailed?
Nah, hell, it's so damn that my whole story goes so deep. I mean, hell, I don't know where I've talked and where I haven't talked. It's just,
no, I'm talking about. I'm get your mind out of you, Tim.
We're talking about boobies.
Yeah, we're talking about gorilla boobies. Gorillas wanting to see women boobies, man.
I don't understand where they find these lawyers that would actually even take it serious enough to go, yeah, I want to be the lawyer to take this into a courtroom in the United States of America and present this in front of, where do you find these lawyers?
Do you think, Tim, after your experience, that some of the interest is the clout?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it confuses me. If I was a judge, how can the judge sit there without being like us, laughing his ass off? I mean, how can the judge be like, we're here for what?
Yeah.
How can the judge not sit there and just crack up laughing and say, get this shit out of my courtroom?
Well, it never made it to a judge. It was settled early on in litigation, going back and forth in a settlement. So I think they just pretty much, to me, like, I'm not going to sit here and determine, whether or not it was completely real or completely fake lawsuit. I'm going to say that I can see the interest that one would have to spark up some kind of suit like this. You're dealing with a very famous animal that's very exotic in a world of exotic animals where there's all kinds of wild shit going on. And this particular gorilla just happens to really like seeing nipples. So, you take the human world and then you mix it, the laws that are set up for humans, like sexual harassment, and then you move it into that world. And I mean, I can see why there's incentive to make a case like this, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, I guess we're just going over the clout, like you said. I mean, but like I said, I would have thought an attorney would laugh it off, or a judge would laugh it off, or somebody would just be like, I would be embarrassed myself to take a lawsuit like that and try to take it somewhere. I mean, that just I don't get it. Now, were these ladies? One thing I didn't understand in that article, were they informed when they took the job that they needed to show nipples, or was it later after they were hired that all of a sudden their boss said, hey, you need to start showing nipples to that damn gorilla?
See, that's a good point, and in favor of the petitioners, because as far as they alleged in their claim, and I wish I could pull the whole claim up and show you, I didn't get it downloaded. But I mean, that's what they were saying, Tim. They were like, look, we didn't know that kind of thing was going to happen when we took this job on. We thought that we were going to be working directly with the gorilla. They even had like their own, like one of them was wanting to use it for school teaching stuff and like teaching their own classes about it and stuff.
Well, then, yeah, they would have a case then. I mean, if they were hired on and then later on, hey, you need to start showing your titties or you're going to lose your job, then yeah, them ladies had the right to make a lawsuit or whatever, but it's one of them it's a weird ass position to be put in, for them ladies. I can tell you that.
Well, they also said that part of the reason that they sued on it, and again, this is in the claim, is their allegations, y'all. But they said that after they realized that the bonding would require, according to the trainer, that they would go ahead and at some point show their tits or whatever. And they said that we're not going to do that. Then they were saying in their claim that's when the organization started like finding other shit for them to do that had nothing to do with what they applied for, like working behind the scenes, cleaning up after dogs, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. So I mean, it was an interesting case to read. So
well, just imagine the purple nurple that thing could give you. I mean,
I had a few
take a souvenir with it.
Yeah. Just imagine that damn monkey. I guarantee you that damn gorilla could easily just pinch your freaking nipple right off of you. Just boom. Just, they're so damn strong, and they're so, when it comes, I've watched them. We tested a chimpanzee, a buddy of mine had. We took a torque wrench, and on the bolt that was on his floor, I forget how much pressure we put on that sumbitch. We cranked that damn nut down onto this bolt, and that damn chimpanzee watched us do it and shit. Took it off there. As soon as we took that wrench off there and walked out and let him back out in his cage, he walks right over there, sits down with that damn bolt and sits there. He knew something was wrong. He knew that that nut wasn't supposed to be on there. It wasn't normally on there. And he sat there and kept messing with it. It wasn't 5 minutes. He had that sumbitch pop loose and had the nut off that bolt. And I was like, and we torqued that damn thing down. And
Did you leave it the wrench? Was it using the wrench?
No, his fingers.
Oh, just his fingers.
Holy smokes! I thought you were saying you left the wrench. I was getting ready to say, were you worried about it using the wrench?
No, just his fingers. Just his.
Holy smokes!
That's how strong he was. He puffed it off with just his hand strength. And that's when I was like, how do you? I've seen. I've not that I've known a lot, but I've known at least a handful of people that have had chimps, and I don't think I've ever seen one that really had the true facilities that I would imagine in my head that it would take to keep those damn things.
If it wanted to go.
Yeah, because I mean, they're just, I don't care if it's 9-gauge chain link or whatever, they'll wad that shit up and throw it at you, and they'd laugh at it, And I mean, I was always scared to own something like that. You would think that, you own lions and tigers and bears. They don't think like them damn apes do,
Well, chimps are, I don't know if this is true or not. Chimps are one of the very few animals that will actually like do war. Like a tribe of chimps will coordinate and attack another tribe, just like humans.
Yeah, they do not allow any. Now, well, there's chimpanzees and then there's the bonobos. The bonobo chimpanzee is the exact opposite. The bonobo chimpanzee. Now, this is why I tell people we all just need to go bonobo. Simply because the bonobo chimps they settle everything with sex. They never.
Everybody
fight.
needs to go bonobo.
They never fight. They just. I don't care if it's a male bonobo with another male bonobo. They just they hand crank each other. Whatever the hell it takes. They don't fight. That's the difference between the bonobo, and they've never really understood why the bonobo chimps are totally 100. Because any other chimps, like you said, Flo, they are territorial. They see another chimp clan come in, all hell breaks loose. It's a fight to the death. The whole work. Where bonobos are like, hey, dude, come on over here. Hell, I'll take care of you. I mean, it's weird as hell.
What do you think about that thought, Flo? You think we should go bonobo?
You know what? It almost sounds more fun to just be one of the warring chimps.
Exactly.
They do ambushes and shit. They're crazy.
Yeah, and when they attack, they flat out attack. They don't play no games.
So the thing is, though, I guess you got to be gay to go bonobo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is it gay if you have to do it to make up, like to solve an argument?
Well, is it gay if you're only the giver and not the receiver? I mean, how's all that? I mean, I don't know.
It's gay unless you're just doing it to assert dominance. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So even then, dominance is okay. So there's
you know what? If you're getting a boner, it's gay.
In all reality, sex.
I'm not right now, so maybe.
I mean, I didn't think that you were until you said that.
I know, maybe. I was thinking YouTube with this. So like, I'm trying to apply it to like real life or whatever, or YouTube life. And imagine this, Flo. Todd. Now think of any argument he ever had, and the resolve would be just for somebody to just walk up and just crank it out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's more a Chris Ruff style, isn't it?
It is. So those two just fought like recently. So Chris Ruff, I know you're watching. Todd, I know you're watching. You all should go bonobo with each other and just crank it out.
Go bonobo. See, that's a good saying. It sounds good too. Let's
go. Got a ring to it.
Got a ring to it.
Right.
Y'all want to end it on this? Flo, you gonna stay live for a while?
I hadn't really planned any of this out. I might if there's desire to. Yeah, I'm open to it.
Well, mods, let's throw the Powdered Dusty's link in the chat, and everybody needs to make sure that you got that notification button hitting after you subscribe, because there's a lot of open panels and stuff like that, and some interesting topics. This topic fit right in for you, didn't it, Flo?
It's a good topic. Yeah, when he called me earlier. He's like, "Hey, I want to do a stream about gorilla titties and Tiger King." I was like, "Yes, Yes. I was like, I want to do that too.
Do you remember what you said, Tim, when I asked you if you wanted to come on?
I don't even remember now.
He said, "Why the fuck you doing a stream about gorilla wanting to see human titties?" He said, "Ain't you got better shit to do?"
It amazes me. The content people have put on social media nowadays amazes me. Yeah.
Right, and I'm not even the originator. Like I said, the link to what I found this in is in the description. I can't make this shit up, y'all. I'm not that good. But for real, there was a lawsuit against the damn gorilla because the gorilla was demanding to see a couple chicks' boobies. And if the pictures were the girls that they showed in the video that I watched, I can't blame the gorilla. I mean, they're decent looking women, so it looked like it had some big old bitties. So maybe,
Oh, bro, we
Go ahead.
didn't watch the footage of the guy, the chest poking, and the.
Which one is that? Did you send me that link?
We were talking earlier. He said he's got. No, I didn't send it to you. Didn't you say you've got his footage from the inspection or raid or whatever it was?
Oh yeah, we're not gonna watch that on this. I'm gonna make a
Oh,
video.
okay.
It's long,
Okay.
bro. Like
Yeah.
I'll have to edit it because it's like 5.5 hours of footage, and we're really focusing on two factors on that. The two factors
Okay, yeah,
are
I misunderstood.
The one
gotcha.
the one thing you will not see in this entire 5-hour video of my inspection is a single question of anybody concerned about any of my animals. No, they didn't see nothing but perfection all day.
That's what I was gonna say, Tim. Like the two factors that really matter the most are one, there was nothing wrong. You know what I mean? It was different. It was opposite. It wasn't just nothing wrong. It was perfect. Like the facilities, everything that they encountered, all the animals, like they had nothing to be upset about when they left there. But I mean, everything should have been green check mark, green check mark, green check
I mean,
mark.
hell, the inspection report, here's how absurd it got. Like I said, it was wrote by Jay Pratt from PETA, the animal behavioral specialist. There's a part in this damn inspection report that states some of my cages were too new. I was like, well, son's a bitch.
What are you supposed to do? Like climb in it yourself and use it for a while? And
I guess my
before you
shit
put an animal in it?
my shit looked too good is what he more or less said right there. But they make it out to be a negative. My shit looked too new.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we could get permission to use some of Tiger King's footage for your video. They would the copyright strike me in a heartbeat.
No, they won't. I've got permission from them.
We'll see. Let's talk about that after, like later on.
I have specifically asked Eric Good if I can use footage from anything. I've got it in written form, in text form, that I can use whatever the fuck I want.
Well, one of the things I'd love to be able to show is the difference between the video that they used against you on with the Attorney General and the one that you gave me.
Mhm.
You know, because it's like two different worlds. You know, you can
See?
clearly see that the Attorney General is the one that started shit, not you. You know what I mean?
One little clip there, they wouldn't say nothing about that. Hell, it ain't but a damn 10-second clip. Yeah.
Who was wearing the body camera that we watched?
The one that I give you?
Yeah, the GoPro.
Well, he used to be a buddy of mine. He was there for the inspection, and he was wearing the GoPro. And this GoPro, it just goes randomly, because it's not really quote unquote following the inspection. There was a lot of shit going on that day where we had, 30, 40, 50 people standing there.
Yeah.
Trying to keep them. And yeah, you'll hear my homophobic terms towards Jay Pratt. He's gay. So me, that word that's going to come out that begins with an F that's going to be sung, get your ass up here, you stupid, but I won't say the rest of it.
I'll edit that stuff out.
But it's just, I was trying to keep everything organized, everything together. Daniel, the guy that was wearing the GoPro, he was off talking. I know there was times where he would stand over and talk to like Troy McDaniel, or he would talk to Dr. Robert Shoemaker from the Indianapolis Zoo. He would just be over talking. But through that whole thing, you never see any the only confrontation that day was between me and that damn Deputy Attorney General. But other than that, there was never no throughout the whole inspection, there was only 2 animals throughout out of a couple hundred that they even had any questions concerning.
Right.
And we stood right there. I don't know if those are on Daniel's GoPro or not, but other than that, there was nothing. They walked through and seen perfection from cage
Right.
to cage to cage. But yet, then you read this 41-page inspection report, and you would think fucking Sanford and Son owned the goddamn property.
Right. Like
Yeah.
it was the Louisville Zoo.
You would think.
Speaking of gay guys, the most popular gay man on YouTube is in my chat right now. I'm humbled. His name's Scotto. Everybody say hi to Scotto. Welcome in, Scotto.
I know
love you,
that
buddy. So we've actually had a really amazing chat. Like for the channel just getting started, we've only got, I think, under 1,000 subs again here. Which this is my very original channel, y'all. This is not the For Public Safety. This is the real 4PS, your very own Chris Ryder. So this channel was never built. It is not tied to the other channel, so this is not a TOS violation like a lot of people are saying. We're just building this channel. I mean, it's been mine the whole time. We're just building it, and I'm pretty happy with 50 or 60 in here with less than 1,000 subs and sticking with us through the whole show. And I mean, and this was on a whim. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've had 40 to 50 most of the night too, 44 right now, and this is also on my channel with under 1,000 subs. So
yeah, we're doing fine. I'm happy with it. But I do want everybody to help us out by sharing out our channels, getting the word out, let them know, what kind of videos we have in store for them, what kind of entertainment we have in store for them. That includes, Flow State's channel. And if y'all are in here, you probably know Flow State does some good content. And looking forward, I hope y'all are looking forward to seeing, Tiger King's Tim Stark's actual, we're going to call it a raid because when you see his video, you're going to see it's more of a raid than it was an inspection or whatever. And it should be exciting for everybody because Tim gets in a fucking fight with the Attorney General.
I wish it would have been a literal fight. I wish like hell it would.
Don't tell him what happened, Tim. We're going to watch it on video. They got in a match. Let's put it that way. Yeah. In Tim's garage on his property. And Tim didn't take no shit. He knew his rights, and
it might have had something to do with how the case went after that. I don't.
Well, let's put it this way, Flo. Had I been guilty that day, there was a dozen cops standing right there. Why didn't a single one of them do it? They did nothing. None of them said anything. None of them said, "Hey, that's assault battery. You can't do that." But none of them. Not a damn thing was said about any of it. So
they
like I said, 6 months later, after they got that audio pretty much from Tiger King, it wasn't a video, it was just an audio of me telling him I'm going to whoop his ass. That's what they used to actually go and have a arrest warrant put out for me. And the reason they did that, there was already an arrest warrant out for me for contempt of court. I went across the bridge from Southern Indiana over into Louisville and went live on Facebook and gave the judge the finger and said, "Fuck you. You can't touch me now," because it was an Indiana judge. So they came down.
This was all on the news, by the way.
Did they have travel? Were you on travel restriction or something?
No, I was under contempt of court or contempt of court for I hid some of my animals. And they put out an arrest warrant for contempt of court for it, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it was a bunch of bullshit. But then the very next day, when they realized they couldn't extradite me on the damn contempt of court charges, Phil Rizzo drove all the way from Indianapolis 2 hours down to Southern Indiana State Police Post and filed the assault, battery, and intimidation charges against me using that damn audio. And that was it.
And the reason they used the audio, let me cut you in here, Tim. The reason they used that version was because the version that was available showed what really happened. They didn't
know I had a video of it. They
Right.
only got Tiger King film producer, and like I said, somebody stepped in front of the camera.
So that one saved your ass then, more or less.
Right. I've got my own video. And the thing about it is I ended up in court over this shit. And again, the same piece of shit lawyer ended up screwing up the case, and I ended up pleading guilty to them charges. I had to end up pleading guilty to those charges too, because that's why I can't stand lawyers. I don't believe in the plea bargain bullshit. I think it's a bunch of shit. I kept telling him, I've got the proof. Here's the video. Let's go to court. Oh, well, they might not like you. They still want to put you in jail. They put the fear of God in you until you finally say, well, make the plea bargain. Fuck it. You got to get out. No, I didn't want to spend another fucking second in jail, but that's the reason they did that. That's why Phil Rizzo drove all the way from Indianapolis down to file them charges. Since he was a deputy attorney general, this supposedly made it a level 6 felony for assault and intimidation because he's considered an officer of the court.
Yeah.
So that turned it into a level 6 felony. So even when they caught me in upstate New York, it cost the taxpayers probably at least $30,000 to extradite me from upstate New York back down to southern Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Just so they could make a mockery of me and have me there for the Tiger King film cruise.
There's what I think it all boiled down to. The Tiger King film crew was in town. It was the hot topic. Like when Tim was out of state, it was all over the mainstream news. They're doing all these. And then when he went to court, there was thousands of people fucking bum rushing, because it was Tiger King.
Yep.
It was the next big thing to put on Netflix. I think Tim was in a lose-lose situation. Didn't matter what you did.
I was already in a lose situation. And then when the Tiger King shit come out, it just overruled it. Like I said, as soon as Eric Good confronted Jamie Knoll and damn Curtis Hill, the attorney general, and all that kind of shit, Tiger King had just come out, and it was already rated the #1 Netflix series of all times. And now they're getting you're going to get to be on Tiger King too. They were all like, hey, bring the camera over here. So that gave them all of them. There was other motives. I've got all of them. I know what their motives were. I've got it all. But that was a major motive to get even my whistleblowers, the bitches that you see me cussing out in the courthouse on Tiger King too. They never had a bad thing to say about me until they were approached by an animal rights activist named Eric Good for Tiger King. They never interviewed. The law never interviewed none of them, or Tiger King never interviewed none of my staff or volunteers that I had there. They only interviewed people that were pissed off because I kicked them off my property for whatever reasons. Over the year, they only interviewed disgruntled people. They didn't interview a single volunteer I had, and I had dozens of volunteers still there. Didn't interview a single.
To be fair, it needed to be biased.
That's right.
Can we get a link to that channel?
Yeah, Witchy Woman. She got all boobs all the time, 24/7. That is amazing. Now, Tim, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you've got a lot of people in here in chat. A lot of the women have been showing their boobs through this whole thing. Very much appreciated. Thank you, ladies. We do appreciate that.
I don't have the chat thing put up here. Shit.
Oh, well, you're missing all kinds of boobies.
They've been just putting boob picture after boob picture in the chat. It's crazy.
There have been big ones, small ones, baloney nipples, little nipples, period-sized nipples.
I even saw my own nipples on there. I don't know how anyone got a hold of that, but
I don't know how to do this shit. So,
and Scotto's got 3 nipples.
Well, damn. So there's stuff.
3.
Is there stuff hiding there for the spank bank later? Is that what you're saying?
You might want to rewatch this. You're going to have to rewatch this. 2A Tone has a question for you, and I think who he's referring to. Now, Tim, I love you. Keep your fucking heart rate down, dude, because I know how you are. If don't be calling me later talking about how you're in the hospital because your fucking blood pressure's up from doing this stream with me. But 2A Tone has a question for you, and I think who he's referencing is Joe. Are you still friends with Joe? He's asking if you're still friends with Tiger King, but I think he means Joe.
That's a complicated question. Me and Joe were always friends. But since Joe's been locked up and stuff, Joe flip-flops every other day. He turned us all in to PETA. He did all kinds of shit, which I understand. When you get put in jail, you're in desperate mode. You're in 100% desperate mode. So I overlooked that. I didn't give a shit because Joe, nobody had nothing on me anyways. I knew I wasn't a criminal, so they weren't going to get me for anything, for any of these animal charges or any of this shit. They wasn't going to do it because I wasn't there. So, but if people knew what I knew about Joe, he's incarcerated right now for the wrong reasons. He did not bribe anybody to kill Carol Baskins. He did not illegally kill any of his tigers or any of his animals. It was all done, and it was all legal, everything. So Joe is in jail for the wrong.
Oh shit! YouTube didn't like him telling the truth.
He fell out.
I hope he knows how to come back up. In the meantime, did you see this, Scotto? Stephanie's got a great depiction for you of my friend. Some triple titties, triple nipples.
And I was trying to scroll back up through my chat. I know that I got some that actually, except for there's 3 here, but in my chat, the boobs that I was getting dropped look basically just like these.
Some triples?
No. Aside from the triples, just the same shape, same symbols.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying not to get distracted by all the titties in chat, man. I'm surprised. I didn't know all the women were, this creative. I didn't realize there were so many different ways to make a boobie with the, what do you call it? Hyphens or icons or whatever.
Yeah. I also dropped my Discord link in my chat just because you could share your, if anybody has their own nipple pictures or stories or whatever that they would like to share, the Discord is a good place to do it.
How do I get there you go. Send your tits to Flo. Look, and Stephanie's had several like big ones, small ones with bigger nipples. Like
there's a period going on in the middle of that one.
Yeah. Well, those are like, those are like perky,
Mm-hmm.
Those are the perkier version. I seen some earlier that had them way down at the bottom. Like this.
Oh, the hangers.
More natural than anything. There's Tim. He's back. Let's bring him back up. Save us, Tim. We've gone down the nipple rabbit hole.
I screwed that one up, didn't I?
What happened? You hit the wrong button?
I forgot to damn plug my phone in. It kept telling me it was fucking low on. And some bitches went completely dead.
Where were you? So you were saying that
he was in jail for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, Joe's in jail for the wrong reasons. I mean, now, personally, I know a lot of stuff about Joe that I lost all respect for Joe as a human being. But I will still be the one to stand up for Joe for the fact that Joe is in jail for the wrong damn reasons.
If later on, Joe, when you get out of prison and you're watching this, you heard it first here from Tim.
So. Now, I mean, I have no beef with Joe. I mean, I never have had. Joe thinks that I've got a beef with him because I talk to James Garretson all the time. Y'all know James Garretson was the fat Chucky doll looking fucker, the jet ski man off Tiger King. The informant, the snitch.
Put a one in chat if you know who he's talking about, y'all.
I talk to James Garretson all the time. I mean, me and him talk all the time. I don't trust James. I don't trust fat bastard no farther than I can throw him. But we still communicate all the time. We talk about Joe. We talk about different shit. We've all got all these different. We've got a bunch of different proof about Joe, about Carol Baskin, about all kinds of stuff. We're constantly comparing notes, But Joe's a disgusting fuck. I mean, there's no without. I couldn't even. We would get kicked off of this channel if I went into detail what I know.
Right.
So I won't. I mean, it's a pedophilia. You name it, all kinds of shit. I mean, I've seen the videos. I can send you all video real quick, and y'all would puke.
No, I don't want.
I mean, I don't think that we want that shit on our computers. I mean,
I don't want that shit at all. Look, and I guess you.
I assume that you're talking about. You might describe what's in the videos now, just the way that was phrased. I assume it's not PDF videos.
Yeah, don't say the full word. Just use the abbreviation PDF.
Audio files,
Yeah.
Well, look, he answered Mark Williams' question before he saw it. So Mark was going to say, "What are the right reasons that Joe's in jail?" But it's not. I mean, if Joe didn't get a fair trial or be charged for what he really did do, then I mean, at the end of the day, he's in there for the wrong reason. He's not supposed to be in there for that stuff. And that, I mean,
Well, I mean,
and
to be honest with you, Chris, if you actually go on, Joe's got a website out there. If you go on that website he's got, him and John Phillips, his lawyer, thanks to me, they've uncovered a lot of shit. I had Alan Glover, the actual hitman. I recorded Alan confessing that it was all a setup. It was all made up. Everything. All the hitman bullshit was set up. It was made up. I recorded it. Now they've got all that proof. Then they also got Jeff Lowe and James Garrison. For some reason, those two dumbasses turned their phones over to John Phillips, Joe's attorney. And they thought they had all this stuff deleted on there. But John Phillips took it to the geek gurus, and they downloaded. Oh my God, you ought to hear the shit. The way Joe was set up, Jeff Lowe's admitting to rape and everything else. I mean, you'd have to hear it. If you go on YouTube, it's under Tiger Tales. And all these videos, audios and shit that John Phillips has put out has got so much incriminating bullshit. Joe's innocent as can be. He was set up by Matt Bryant, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Marshal, who was friends with Carol Baskins before it ever went down, and all kinds of shit. Amanda Green, the federal prosecuting attorney. It was all as soon as she took Joe down, Amanda Green got promoted. She's magistrate judge now. They get promoted for this shit because she was, she took down the Tiger King, and all that kind of stuff. It's so fake. Joe is not guilty of what he's in jail for. They've got every bit of the proof. His attorneys keep fucking up his appeals and everything else. He got new attorneys. The last time I talked to Joe, I actually had him call me from jail. I was trying to warn him about his new law firm. I knew they were scam artists. They're fake. They're worthless. And Joe got mad at me. You just had me call you just to badmouth my attorneys, blah, blah, and he got all mad. And that's when, I was like, well, screw you. I hope enjoy the rest of your life in jail, then, dude. Have fun with that. But like I said, Joe is not guilty. There's all kinds of proof. Anybody that wants to watch it, John Phillips has released it's going on like 300 different videos on this Tiger Tail shit of all this stuff that he got off of Jeff Lowe and James Garrison's phones and shit of how. And they were talking to the fish, Matt Bryant, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Marshal, on a lot of these recordings. Jeff Lowe and James Garrison recorded everything. Everything that went on in their life was on these phones. And that's what
called Tiger Tales. I think Tiff's asking for the.
Yeah, it's Tiger Tales. And it's under Phillips and Hunt is the law firm. If you look up Phillips and Hunt, Tiger Tales, it'll pull up all these. And there's hundreds of them. And
Tiff's going to put a link to it in the chat.
And you will shit when you hear all of this incriminating evidence that's out there proving Joe's innocent.
How about this? Y'all put a one in chat if you want us to do here on this channel a follow-up once this whole thing gets resolved. Like we can do. You remember how what was her name? What's that lady's name? Flo, help me out with this. The journalist that did she's huge right now for recovering the series Making a Murderer from the other perspective. What's her name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, help me out, chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But so like everything that they did on Making a Murderer, this journalist comes along. She's like some kind of right-wing mainstream journalist or whatever, known for doing this stuff. Somebody in the chat's gonna know who I'm talking about. But do y'all think we should do one like that, but on Tiger King with the people that were on it? I think we should. I'm getting a lot of ones.
It's like the same story from a different perspective.
Yeah, we should do that. What do you think, Tim? You think we can make that happen at some point?
I'm still trying to figure out how to send both of y'all these damn videos.
You know how long it took Tim to send me some GoPro videos? Oh my God. I thought I was tech-tard.
I'll send you this stuff of Joe's and see what y'all think of it.
More than happy. Well, I don't know about, dude. Don't be sending me none of that weird shit. See, that's what you get into when you start inviting these fucking Tiger King people into your life. You gotta
that them people out there that was out there, boy. I mean, I'm just an Southern Indiana redneck, and out there they're number one. It's the meth capital of the world. Oklahoma is.
You know, every place says that about where they're at. Right?
Oh, you go out there to Oklahoma, every filling station you pulled into, everybody had summer tea. Summer here, summer. Every damn one of them. There's so many casinos out there in Oklahoma and shit. All of these worthless. I mean, they're just. Oh, it's disgusting. I mean,
that's where Kaiser moved to, was Oklahoma. Speaking of Kaiser,
everywhere.
Claire has been showing some major booby, and I've got. Can you see? I don't know, Tim. Can you see what's up on the screen right now?
No.
Well, Claire's showing all kinds of booby, and
I don't know how to pull the chat up there.
Well, it's not in the chat. I mean, it is in the chat, but I got it pulled up on the screen. If you're watching, us on YouTube,
all I see is me, you, and Flo on the screen.
That's okay. I'll explain it to you. You're gonna miss the titties, but do you remember the asshole Kaiser that was obsessed with me and Tiffany for for a year and a half?
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's in prison now, and apparently, his alleged girlfriend or whatever, wife, he calls her. Apparently, she sent tit pics out to everybody on YouTube, and they were very hairy, like very oddly, like disgusting.
Like,
and
actually,
yeah, I'm talking like KoKo would be right at home seeing these nips, hairy nip, like very, very hairy nips. So Claire is put. Now you
look,
see it.
I gotta speak up as the titty expert on the panel. Like, that's not normal.
There you hear it from the titty expert on the panel. Abnormal boobies.
I'm not having any fun. I'm missing all this shit.
You have to watch it later, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know that hairy ones are that much fun.
Well, what about KoKo though? KoKo would probably.
KoKo would be down.
I mean, it might be because if KoKo's mentality really is nurturing, like looking for, nurturing titties or whatever, I would say hairy ones would probably be right up.
They're warmer.
Alley.
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, well, no, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just saying. I was thinking. Okay, if I did have a thought in that, it was that a gorilla has a lot of hair, and if this gorilla. Okay. You know what I'm saying? If this gorilla was thinking, like mother titties, right? Like maybe Kimmy's titties would be perfect because there's a lot of hair. Like
it's
real
amazing.
Gorilla.
I really like knowing that there's like 100 people now who are all having mental pictures of hairy titties.
Of Kimmy's hairy tits.
That's real power.
I mean, half your chat has probably seen the actual real Kimmy tits. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't even know. Yeah, they might have. Type 1 in the chat if you've seen these tits. I don't even know who Kimmy is. I don't think.
That's Michael Kaiser's online girlfriend, the one he calls. I don't know if you ever watched Michael Kaiser, the fraud at Wrangler.
Not really. I know who he is. I didn't really watch him though.
Yeah, he's in prison now, but his thing was he always said that he had a wife named Kimmy, who turned out to just been some chick that he met online that also was interested in all kinds of other YouTubers. Therefore, hence all the hairy booby pictures going out. But so he had this part of his theme of his lie of his grift was that Kimmy was always right by his side and never missed a beat and supported the shit out of his channel. Therefore, she was always first in chat. She was the go-to for all questions Kaiser related during chat for his I don't know, cult is what he called it. So, but yeah, so a lot of people, we got a lot of ones over here. No, we got negative ones. People are saying, fuck no, they do not want to see those pictures over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for KoKo though, one in chat if you think Kimmy titties are perfect for KoKo. 2 in chat if you think KoKo would prefer non-hairy. I mean, let's get in the mind of a monkey. Well, it's not a monkey, is it, Tim? It's a gorilla. That's very different, isn't it?
The gorilla, great ape.
Little different.
Monkeys and you got great ape. Monkeys have tails. Great apes don't.
Is that one of your exotic animals there, Tim, or is that just a dog?
This is my baby girl right here.
She's adorable. What breed?
Half poodle, half chihuahua.
A poodle wawa.
Yep.
All right, so I'm getting a lot of mixed answers on that over here.
Well, would they rather see Joe's videos?
No, nobody wants to see Joe's videos. Not the way you described them. There ain't nobody in the world. Don't even, dude. I'm gonna take my email away from you, so you can't get me put in prison.
I put my email backstage in the back chat, and then immediately after he started talking about the videos, I'm like, God,
I don't know how to email anybody anyway, so y'all are safe.
Definitely don't send me none of that kind of shit. Especially with Joe in it. Like they'll fucking tie me to the Meade County government would try to tie me to Joe and shit. I'll be the next person on television. Yeah, man, we have a real mixed audience over here about which kind of titties KoKo would prefer, hairy or non. I think that I probably screwed it up though because they're all thinking Kimmy's specifically. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's going, no, nobody, not even Gorilla. Gorilla don't even want to see them tits.
I mean, I think everybody will look. It doesn't matter how bad they are.
You're gonna look.
There's my other one.
It's like a car wreck. Like it's supposed to look. OMC, would you take a look?
Now this one's a poodle. Look at
It's same. It's not the same dog. You got 2 different dogs there.
Watch.
The animal lover. Oh, one's got a mohawk. The other's got a boof.
Got the crow going on, and then watch. Come here. Got him too.
Oh wow, you got 3 of them in there.
Got the little puppy.
Imagine that being tigers, 50-pound tigers, Flo.
I mean, that would be interesting. I don't know. I've never owned a dog. First, now that's what my ex-wife says that's what's wrong with me. But I don't know. There's just I'm about the only person that's not really a dog person.
Shame on you.
I know it. He probably he doesn't like me anymore now because of that.
I don't understand it. Like how can someone not be a dog person?
I don't dislike dogs. I just don't want anything else to clean up poop after.
We need to clean up. You don't have to clean up. Wait,
you just mow over it.
Yeah, on the riding mower. I don't even like it. Ain't getting on the foots or nothing.
Just get
dogs
these,
they pick their little area out there. You know what I mean? Like
just get these little bitty dogs like I've got, and then you don't even notice when they shit. So
we have 2 cats, and that wasn't really by choice either. But when my daughter's mom got her a kitten for Christmas, what am I gonna do?
Listen, cats are way messier than the dogs.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Speaking of that, I got a question for you, Tim. Since house cats are so dirty and always spreading litter shit everywhere and all that stuff, are tigers like that too? Just way bigger?
No. Nope.
We want to hear about tiger shit.
Tigers are clean animals. I mean, they're clean. Their shit don't smell like cat shit either. So,
could you teach one to use a litter box? You think?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a leopard that lived in my house for quite a while, and he was just a lot. Had to build a special made litter box. It was, but he was litter broke, and never once did he go outside that litter box.
How big is a leopard?
Hell, he was probably about 80 pounds.
So bigger than my dog. Look, okay, you cleaning the cat box out with the shovel or?
Yeah, I mean, their shit really wasn't all that big, so I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. But he ate on my kitchen table. He knew he wasn't allowed to take his meat and go anywhere. He had to sit right there on the table and eat. He was litter trained. Everything. Best animal I ever raised in my house.
That's cool, man. So you think you could talk to tigers to been housebroke if they were sizable?
Well, hell, do you remember Lori that lived there in Sellersburg
I do.
that had
Yep. She had the ones out back, the big cage, real tall cage out right off her porch.
Yeah, she had what's her name? Fuck, what's the name of her tiger? Mariah, I think's the name of it.
I didn't know she had a tiger though. I thought she had
She had a tiger and a cougar.
a cougar. That's what it was.
Yeah, she had a tiger and a cougar there on 403.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a tiger and a cougar. Well, her tiger was trained to go on the toilet.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
Literally trained. She had that tiger trained to go on the to actually go on the toilet. So,
wow. What do you think, Flo? Would you take a tiger for a pet?
They're smart animals.
Hell no. I've
Even
watched a few of those like police body cam videos where somebody's cleaning a tiger cage and it goes wrong or something. Like I don't trust animals. I don't even trust horses because they give you that one beady ass eye and they know that that I'm not in charge of them.
Well, here, let me tell you a story about Joe Exotic and talking about damn videos and shit on stupidity. You know, Saf on Tiger King, that's the he, she, whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I have no clue. It was actually a she, but thinks he's a he. And she's the one that lost her arm. And Joe's thing, I'm never going to financially recover this and all this kind of stuff. You know, Saf literally lost her fucking arm, and they had it in Tiger King and the show and everything. It wasn't but a few months later, Joe is suturing up the other fucking arm.
the same girl? No
She
shit.
got her arm attacked, and Joe did not want to make a public, so he is in there suturing it up himself. I've got all the video. I've got the video of all this shit.
Now
we gotta have that.
That one I'll take.
Yeah,
I
no.
That one won't get me flagged with the federal government.
Yeah, no, fuck him. You don't trust him. Give me that video.
No, don't run the flow first, Tim.
Joe and them doing illegal veterinary procedures on animals. I've got it all on tape where he was doing surgeries on tigers and shit with
I'll
no
make a deal. Hang on, Tim. Hang on. I'll make a deal with you, Flo.
I was just kidding. You got it.
We'll do it together, like Restream. You know what I'm saying?
We can do that. I was just trying to jump in front of you as a joke. I'm not really trying to.
I know. I'm just.
This is
anyway.
But
well, no, I'm not.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say no. That would be crazy.
Ask your chat if they want to see that wild shit.
I already know the answer. Type of one in the chat if you want to see that shit.
What about my side? You heard it from Flo. You don't want to see that shit? It would be the never before seen footage from
the one arm trans person from Tiger King getting their other arm stitched up after being attacked by a tiger again. A tiger again?
Yeah.
I did have a question from somebody in my chat. They want to know what you think would win in a fight, a lion or a tiger.
I would have to say the tiger.
Really?
They're bigger.
They're bigger, okay. They're stronger, and they're more solitary. They don't take no shit. Where even a big male lion relies on the rest of the pride. They don't really go at shit on their own so much, And I would have to say a tiger. I mean, I've had the lions and tigers. I've been in the middle of them, in the middle of big knockdown, drag out fights, and I'm in there right in the middle of them, breaking them up like a dumbass, And you can literally, I've got pictures. One of my volunteers bought this real expensive camera at one time and was taking pictures. And I had two big tigers getting in a fight, and I went in to break it up, and all I'm carrying is my fucking rake, and I get right in the middle of them. In the pictures, you can see blood flying through the air.
One of the other
where
animals.
these tigers were ripping each other apart. You can see blood in the air. Wicked ass picture. But there's my dumb ass right there in the middle of it with a rake.
I tried to get in the middle of a dog fight with a tire iron once. I got my ass bit by a German Shepherd, so I quit that shit.
Yeah. And see,
tire iron just piss them off.
I've been in there breaking up bears, breaking up tigers, lions, you name it. I've been right in the middle of it, and wouldn't trade it for nothing.
I remember one of my experiences there. I've been there a few times, but one of my experiences there that I haven't forgotten is so Tim's like a showman, and he and I didn't know each other back then. I was just a spectator paying like everybody else to go check it out. But he did his little like, introduction, and then you do the show, and then at the end he would take you and introduce you to a different animal on the way out before you left, and kind of do a little, what would you call it, like an educational talk about the animal or whatever, and show you his relationships with each animal. And I was there for one day where he had the hyena, and I mean, at Tim's facility, you get up close. Like, I mean, it was, if I remember right, I think it was just 1 or 2 gates, wasn't it, Tim? Like real close, where you go in with the hyena, and you're like,
Yep.
come on, and all of a sudden you start feeling the ground shake, man. Like these fucking animals, dude. They're. I mean, I got horses. I got a thoroughbred that's 1,200 pounds, and when she comes running to me, it was nothing like this hyena coming running. Like the feeling that you feel from the ground. And Tim's just standing there calling it, come on, baby, get over here, and the animal comes and starts playing on the plaything with Tim. It's pretty fucking wild.
Hyenas
man.
are freaky.
They
I
are.
don't know than I thought.
They are definitely the weirdest animal, and that's one of my biggest show things, is because I would tell stories about them and shit. About how they are the way they are, that they have both sex organs. You cannot tell a male from a female. They both have, the male penis, and I would go into these big, long stories, cracking people up, just, and I would tell people a hyena is the animal God created right after he created weed.
Here's the problem. here's the problem with Tim. He's Republican, so he had a hard time accepting the hyena.
The hyenas, I see how that would be an issue. And they've also got like the highest PSI bite or something of.
I have literally watched them bastards chew right through 9.5 gauge steel chain link fence like it wasn't even there.
Wow.
Just come right up there. 9.5 gauge is the thickest gauge. Well, I mean, it's not the thickest, but that's the one that's everybody uses. And it was like it was nothing. The bastard, I got a breeding pair of hyenas in one time, so I didn't raise them. These were adults, and I built the pen for them. I thought, there you bastards. Shit. I hated having them son of a bitches there, because every time you turn around, you were having to fix their damn cages. I mean, they were constantly they would just chew up anything and everything. It didn't matter what it was, they could chew it up.
I'm sitting over here listening to your bullshit. You loved them things, man.
Oh, I loved them, but I mean, they were scary. I mean, the ones I raised, the ones you seen me with, those were nothing. But that breeding pair, oh my God. I mean, they were hard to keep contained. I mean, hard as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, they were always chewing, and you go out there and just a whole chew right through the chain link fence, and you're like, and it's sitting there with its head sticking through, and you're like, oh fuck, emergency.
Did you ever have anything? You remember on the one episode where Joe had to shoot his gun? Couldn't tell if he was actually shooting at the tigers or not, but they grabbed his feet and just drug him off.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything like that happen to you?
I got challenged quite a few times. I mean, I've got my war wounds and shit, where I've been ripped apart, ripped to shreds and shit. It's all part of it. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're dealing with that shit. And I mean, there was times where, whether it was a bear, a tiger, a lion, or whatever, where I didn't think I was going to come back out of the cage. I mean, there was numerous times of that. But to me, that's no different than, a race car driver, coming close to slamming into the wall or whatever. You still go right back out there and do it again. That's your passion. I didn't fear the animal, because I knew animals, if they chose to do it, it's not off instinct, it's strictly off impulse. Instinct's a measure of life that they learn just for what they need for survival. Impulse, if you pull up like Randy Miller and Grizzly Bear. Randy Miller is a big time guy. He's I think he's from out of California, and he does all the TV show, all the movies and shit. Gladiator, that was his tigers in Gladiator and shit. Well, he had his cousin wanting to do some kind of commercial thing with his grizzly bear one time. And so the grizzly bear was trained to stand up on a mark, on an X. Mm-hmm. And Randy's cousin was standing next to him. And now all of a sudden that grizzly bear just turns around, looks at him like, fuck you. And just jumps on his cousin and just he's done. Just finished him off. You know,
I couldn't imagine grizzly bear. But
that's just, you never know what sets an animal. That's not instinct. That animal may have had a toothache. It may have had a stomach ache. They're no different than us. They get headaches, stomach aches, all that kind of shit. Just like Montecore, you know, Siegfried and Roy's tiger, when it got hold of Roy, you know, it was just, that tiger worked more than most people did. That tiger worked 6 days a fucking week. You know, it may have just not been in the mood to work that day. And Roy knew those animals well enough. He should have stopped the show. Instead, the almighty dollar said the show must go on. He paid the ultimate price. He let the greed of the almighty dollar rule he knew better.
right.
But that's the way people are in the animal industry. We're all nuts. We're all, you know, we do it our way, you know.
What kind of animal bucked up to you the most?
Bear. Bears, I tell people all the time, all bears should be female, because to me, they're the moodiest fucking animal ever set foot on the planet.
Therefore female. How you know they weren't hyena?
I mean, bears are fun as hell. Like, you get a little baby bear cub, they're adorable. But I mean, and some of them aren't like this, but I had the most problem with bears in all the years I did my exotic animal, because you could be sitting there playing with the little bear cub, a little 4-month-old bear cub, just having a blast, playing with it. And all of a sudden that motherfucker just rear up and just come at you and just, I mean, tear into you. And they do that massive thrashing mode when they get a hold of you. They grab and they just so whatever they got a hold of, they're going to mangle it. And I mean, them bears are just, you know, and they're so much stronger than a cat. They're so, you know, because a cat really don't have pushing power. You know, they don't have that in them. They can stand up on something, but they don't know how to literally push on it. Where a bear, they'll grab a steel pole, they'll push it and bend it, or they'll pull it and bend it.
I've seen them open car doors and shit.
Yeah, I mean, they're strong.
We got a lot of people that have asked about it. They thought we were going to, just like Flo thought too. I must have represented that incorrectly, but a lot of people are excited to see us do this, the video of your raid, Tim. To answer Ronnie's question, no, sir, we're not doing it on this one. We're going to put that together for you, because I've got a bunch of videos from Tim that came in pieces because they were in GoPro. I've had them for about a year, but I've got to organize.
Just been chilling with them.
Tim and I have been planning on getting this out there for a long time, but right about the time that I got the footage and started piecing it together, you know, on the right, you know how GoPro does like 15-minute increments?
Yeah.
And then another 15, well, he sent them to me like a whole 5.5 hour thing. So they're out of order. So right about the time I started putting it together to make a video was when I got arrested over in Meade. So you can imagine I've just been too much been going on for me to like sort through all that and get it together and get with Tim, and he's been asking me regularly too. So like I want to do it soon.
I mean,
like
it's government overreach at its finest. And then, like I was telling Chris earlier today, they still don't leave me alone. USDA, I'm living in Illinois now. My inspector that I had through USDA, she's from here in Illinois too, but she comes up here and stalks me here where I'm at now. And they show up with armed guards, all kinds of shit. Over nothing. Over the dumbest shit.
It could be worse. You could be where Joe's at right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when I got put in jail, I didn't know if I was coming out. I knew what they had done to Joe already. And when they did finally arrest me, I thought, oh, fuck, they're going to leave me behind bars. But that's what's comical. They never could get any charges to charge me with. They never had nothing. All they had was accusations and assumptions. You know, well, we assumed you did this. We assumed you did that. Or we're saying you did this. Or we're saying you did it. They never had any proof on any illegal shit, whether it was with the animals, with the nonprofit funds, with anything. They never had any proof on any. Like I said, could have been on payroll with the money we had coming in. I could have easily been on payroll for 200 or 300 grand a year. Easy.
Well, it's like Flo said earlier. I don't understand how that couldn't have counted towards your expenditures. I mean,
Exactly. I
we
don't
got
care,
a
but
person running a nonprofit right here in the
thing,
chat.
thing about it is, Flo, me and my wife still paid our own bills. We paid for our house. We paid for our vehicle. Even though, we paid for my vehicle. I didn't run that through Wildlife in Need. Now, there was times where we would buy stuff under our name and we would put it under Wildlife in Need's name just so we could get it tax exempt. Because I figured, hell, I'm donating 24/7, 365 days a year to this shit. And I'm using this for their purposes. They can at least pay the taxes on it, eliminate the taxes on the shit. Nothing illegal about that. Not a damn thing illegal about it.
I don't get how any of it was illegal because it was all, I mean, you literally lived there.
Right.
That was all you did every day, day in, day out. Everywhere you went had something to do with taking care of you had a lot of animals, Did you even take any days off? If I remember right, that place was open every day of the week, wasn't it? Or no, maybe it was just weekends.
I worked anywhere between, and people think I exaggerate, but I worked anywhere between 90 and 110 hours a week when I was up and running.
I believe it.
That sounds a lot, but when you work 7 days a week, and you're working 14, 16, 18-hour days, it adds up, and that's the type of hours I put in. I was a workaholic from the get-go, so like I said, I donated all of that. I didn't want a paycheck for what I was doing. I didn't want it to feel like a job. I did what I did because I loved what I did.
Well, that's where you fucked up for the government. They needed you to be greedy.
That's right. I should have put myself on payroll. I should have, and I would have been fine. I would have never been sued.
They would have found something else, it sounds like.
Yeah, they were looking. They were going to find it. It was all about the clout, man. It was all about Tiger King, I'm telling you.
And like I said, now, 2 days after my last day in court, they passed a new House bill over there in Indiana, more or less called the Tiger King bill. It's got my fucking name all over it. They used me as their poster child to get this new law passed. And that's what's comical, because I looked up, that's what made me feel so special, is when they passed that new law, because I was the only person in Indiana doing anything like what I was doing for the last 15, 20 years. Yeah. As far as letting people interact with lions, tiger, bears, all that kind of shit. I was for the last, since early 2000s. And they shut me down. They still felt the need to pass this damn bill preventing people from interaction with dangerous animals. And I was like, it's already done. You just shut me down. I'm the last one. I was the last one there. And how many people live in Indiana? 6.8 million fucking people. So I was so special. They had to pass a bill all because of me.
It had to be you. There are nobody else in Indiana that does it. And I don't know of anybody that plans on doing it either.
And, well, I mean, I would do it again if I had the opportunity. I mean, I made damn good money at what I did with Tiger Baby Playtime. I was the only person in the country, and I'll tell this outright, and everybody across the country fucking knew it. The people in the industry and the people out of the industry. You give me a litter of tigers when I was up and running. One lousy litter of tigers. You could only legally use them from the time they were 6 weeks to 16 weeks. So 10 weeks, 2.5 fucking months, I could make over $1 million with that litter of tigers.
Holy shit.
And that was charging $25 a head.
Yeah, imagine what they're making on them $400 and some dollars.
Exactly.
The ticket.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I was still raking in just with one litter of tiger. Nobody else in the country could make that kind of money using their tigers. I figured out a way, and it was because of mine and my wife's work ethics that made it happen.
Do you recall a place, I think it might have been in Indiana, that used to actually sell lion steaks or lion meat? Does that sound familiar at all?
No, not really. There was a place there in New Albany, Indiana, that they got in so much trouble different times over the years. They did sell exotic meats. They did. Never really heard what all kinds they had. It's right there in the New Albany.
They had it's an industrial park. They had
Yeah.
They had like ostrich eggs and
Yep.
gator meat.
Good.
And
Now, I think at one time they did have lion meat there and stuff,
did they really?
and they got in trouble for it and shit, even though they didn't get in trouble for it, because back when they did have it, lions weren't on the endangered species list then. So it was legal. It was,
I remember my friend showed it to me, a website. You could order lion steaks, and even
Yep.
the smallest one, like it was expensive. The smallest one was still like it was like $50 or something. And I tried to get him to split one with me because I didn't have $50 to spend on novelty back then. But he didn't want to pay $25 to eat cat, which made sense. It makes sense. It sounds kind of gross, but like now in hindsight, like I've kind of missed my opportunity.
I just looked it up. So the sale and consumption of captive raised lion meat is legal in the United States.
it's not anymore. It's not since 2016. It's no longer legal because lions were put back on put on the endangered species list in 2015 or 16, whatever the hell it was. So you're not allowed to do anything with them anymore.
Well, this is why you don't always trust looking stuff up.
They're selling you fucking buffalo meat and telling you it's lion meat or something.
You can't trust those AI auto responses that Google generates.
That's what it was too. So.
Yep, those language models are programmed to make language responses that will sound good, not to be. That's the priority over the facts.
Right.
But I mean, people don't understand. Just like here's another story about Joe Exotic. Another reason I lost all respect for him is when Joe, right before Joe left the zoo, left GW Park in 2018, he hooked up with a guy by the name of Greg Woody, who comes from Illinois. Greg's in the animal industry. They started hauling out the big cats. Joe was hauling off all the hybrids. The lion or the ligers, the liligers, the tie ligers. That was still legal to move all them. They weren't on the endangered species list. Only the lions and tigers were. The hybrids weren't. So they were immediately taking these big cats off of GW Exotic Animal Park and taking them and slaughtering them. They were taking some of them and taking them directly to these big exotic animal hunting preserves down in like Texas and shit, and slaughtering the motherfuckers, literally just slaughtering them.
See, I'm no fan of that kind of shit, man.
That's right. I mean, it's not a hunt. I'm all for hunting, and different stuff, but that's not a hunt. That's a shoot where you just walk up there and say, there he is, shoot him. That's a shoot. Right. But I actually came across a taxidermist down in the bayous, Louisiana. And he's the taxidermist they've been working through. He's got all these liger pelts. Liger's the biggest cat in the world. Cross between a male lion and a female tiger, and they get up 900 to 1,000 pounds.
Holy shit.
And this guy
Holy shit, really?
Oh, they're fucking huge.
Like that's the size of my biggest horse.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
1,100 pounds.
Look up Doc Annals. Look up Hercules under Doc Annal. He's got the Guinness Book of World Records. Hercules was in the good.
I've seen that. I just had no idea they were that size. I mean, that's the size of my thoroughbred.
When they stand up, they're like 10.5 foot tall.
Holy shit. I didn't know they were that big.
They're monsters, but they're big, laid back. They're just gentle giants. I've never seen a liger aggressive at all. They're just big, huge, lazy, lovable. That's just the way they are. Like Doc Anno used to put it best. He would say when you crossbreed a lion with a tiger, a male lion with a female tiger, you get the best of both worlds. So you get it all, and you do. But Joe was slaughtering them fucking things. And this taxidermist down there, I caught him. He had posted a big picture of a lion liger that he just skinned out. And that's how I caught him and said, yep, I know where they're coming from. And we've been calling out Greg Woody for years on it. He won't come forth and say anything. They all know they were, even if it wasn't illegal, it was I mean, he had every right to do it. So I really don't know where I stand on the issue. They're his animals. There's really no difference between going out there and killing a tiger or a liger or whatever than there is for somebody to go out and kill a cow or a fucking pig or a chicken.
Or a horse. I don't.
All your property. And if you feel like, I used to joke around and tell people, they're my cats. If I want to go out there and shoot a fucking tiger, skin him out and stake the skeleton up with him tonight, that's my prerogative.
They'll use that against you, though. But I mean, because you wouldn't really do that.
No.
But
I mean, if I wanted to, they were legally my animals. If I want to do that, animals do not have rights in any way, shape, or form. I do not believe in animal rights. Animals have the rights to do whatever the hell a human being makes them do, period. They have no say so. They never have. They never will. Get over it.
That's exactly what Flo's wife says about Flo.
Yep.
It's terrible. And she's not wrong.
Not wrong at all, is she?
Listen, when it comes to the rules of the house, he either follows them or he's getting skinned up and put on a plate for dinner.
I mean, I don't agree with it. I don't, I wouldn't just go out and kill an animal just to kill it or whatever. One of the worst stories that ever happened to me was me supposedly beating a leopard to death with a ball bat, just because I admitted to USDA that I put a leopard down. I had to do it, and I used a ball bat to do it. I had every legal right to do it. It's more humane.
A ball bat?
And the way I did it, it was more humane. And when it comes to euthanasia, it's all about speed. It's all about getting the job done as quick as possible so the animal don't have to suffer. I don't give a shit how you have to do it.
I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
That was the business I was in.
I know.
How fast can you take out a leopard with a ball bat?
Do what?
How fast can you kill something with a ball bat?
Oh, it took about 5 seconds. If that. See, what the problem was, I rescued a couple leopard cubs. And we didn't know it when I rescued them. But to make a long story short, they had metabolic bone disease. We didn't know it for about a month and a half later when one of them fell over dead because of this. It's brittle bone disease is what metabolic bone disease is. The second one, I was giving it carbon calciumate, carbon sulfonate, and everything, trying to get it cured. But I went to get its bowl out of its cage and it charged me. This was just a cub. It was only like 5 months old. I was using a baseball bat as a cane. I have a bad back. And I was kind of just using it as a cane. And I was using it to prop myself up as I reached over to grab its bowl. So I had the bottom of the bat holding it in my hand. The head of the bat was on the ground. I reached down to grab its bow. It come charging out of its den at me. All I did was move my hand to the side. I didn't move the bat. The head of the bat still stayed at the ground. It ran right into the baseball bat. It had metabolic bone disease. It shattered its fucking skull. And it fell over into convulsions. I knew there was no saving it. So I had the weapon right there in hand. Bam, bam, done. That quick, that simple, took it out of its misery. To me, now, yeah, I could have said, well, let me do this the way PETA would want me to do it. Let me call my fucking veterinarian who lives all the way, or who works and lives all the way over in fucking Louisville, Kentucky. He's got a 40-minute drive to my house anyways. And that's if he stops what he's doing right now. Or should I just put this animal out of its fucking misery? Should I wait anywhere between 45 minutes and a week? Let this animal lay there and suffer before my veterinarian ever gets out there? Or should I do the responsible thing and put this animal out of its misery? It was my fucking animal. It wasn't the vet's. It was my responsibility. It wasn't the vet's. I took my job, my responsibilities. I didn't like killing animals, but I did it. That was part of my fucking job. If I took in animals for rehab, I was the largest rehabber in the state of Indiana. And I took in anything and everything. If somebody brought me an animal that you couldn't rehab, that was injured too bad. My job was to euthanize that fucking animal immediately, not to take it to have it euthanized. It was my responsibility to euthanize it. If the cops called me on a deer that had been hit by a car or whatever, and I showed up and it was still alive, I put it down. If I had a gun, I would use it. If I had a knife, I would use it. If I didn't, I would park my truck on its throat and take it out one way or another. You take it out of its misery. You know, you do your job. I took my job serious as hell from A through Z, not just when it was comfortable. I did it all. You know,
Right.
so to me, there was a difference, but that story got out that I beat a leopard. They used that terminology, that I beat a leopard. That was the headlines. Charlestown man beats leopard to death with the ball bat. They didn't tell the story behind it, why I did it, or that it was, you know, reasonable. I did it the way it should have been done. And everybody agrees with me once they hear the story. Now, yeah, they made it out to where it sounded like I woke up that morning and I was bored shitless. I drank my coffee and I grabbed a ball bat and I went on a fucking I went on a manhunt. That's the way they acted. That's the way they portrayed it in these stories and shit when they, came out with it. They didn't tell the true story. I euthanized shitloads of animals over my career. And
that's the part. That's the thing, Tim, that the government wants you to focus on. Not just the government, but your haters. They want you to focus on that because they want you to come to these platforms and talk about the shit that they've alleged in a way that in an accusatory fashion against you. And look, I've done the same thing here on YouTube trying to defend myself. You hear this negative bullshit coming at you all the fucking time. And it's real easy to like respond to it so much because you hear it so much that's what you talk about. And you forget to talk about what you would have only ever talked about, which is how much you love the animals. Or for me, it was, how much I enjoyed being on YouTube and fighting for civil rights and, catching sheriffs and government officials stealing. I really enjoy doing all that. And I always really enjoyed coming here and talking about it and sharing it with an audience. But when we got attacked all the time by just a couple, select groups, we were hearing that attack so often that we fell into this rut of that's what we talked about. You know what I mean?
I know it. It dwells on you. It stays there. You can't get it out. And then when somebody brings up anything about it, you only focus on the negative shit of it. Yeah, I had a wonderful career. I had a life. I can remember all the way back when I was in elementary school telling my own brother and shit, one day I want to own my own zoo. I want to be around the animals, blah, blah, blah. I actually lived my dream. I made it. I succeeded until I got into a pissing contest with, like I said, terrorists. They are literally terrorists. That's what they are. They're domestic terrorists. There's nothing good about PETA. If you actually research PETA, they kill over 92% of the animal that they take in, and they want to call themselves the animal saviors.
No, it's all about money and
that's right.
And they're in the same game. Well, look, Tim, this is why I got to do cutoffs with you because you will straight up steal my audience. Like that's why they had TV shows revolving around your ass. This guy, Hawk Fan for Life, says, I can listen to this Tim guy's stories always. Laugh out loud. He needs his own podcast. You had one, didn't you?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Like I said, they have fucked my mind up so much in this shit, Chris, between escalating my tinnitus to where it's hard as hell for me to even hear you when you ask me something over this tinnitus. I cannot think right anymore. I've had every mental test done because I thought I was coming down with dementia or Alzheimer's or something because my memory's gone and it's faded out and it's so fucked scrambled in there. I can no longer learn anything new because you can't, when you got tinnitus and it gets so loud, you can no longer hear yourself think over the noise.
Mhm.
It's like sitting in a library trying to read a book when the bastard sitting next to you is blowing the damn foghorn. You know,
Right.
it distracts you. You can't think. So I'm literally losing my mind. And I've told people the only way I'll ever get my mind back is through revenge. I've got to get to these people and get this,
No, you don't.
you know,
For your own good, maybe you don't. Maybe you just say whatever you want.
I think what he needs. This is what I think he needs. I think he needs for the world to know the truth. That's what I think he needs.
exactly.
He needs
Okay. As
Which-
your attorneys, we approve of this message now.
that
Which would be-
part, yeah.
that would be my revenge, Chris, is getting justice, to getting the word out there. That's what's like I just sent Donald Trump a present. You know, I sent him, I do wood burnings, expensive ass wood burnings. I did a wood burning of him, which is, I turned it into Mount Rushmore. It's Mount Megamore, you know, and I did a big wood burning. I just mailed it to Malago here about 3 weeks ago. And
May I say that's gay as fuck?
I know you don't care for it. I hate politicians too. But if I can get something out of them, hey, gotta.
I approve of that approach.
I hate politicians with the passion. You know,
I don't trust them government.
They're better
And
than
I damn sure
prosecutors.
don't.
I don't
trust-
trust anybody. So I mean, it has nothing to do with government. I don't trust anybody. You know, I never have. I never will.
Yeah. Well, don't go keeping your fucking hopes up that Donald fucking Trump's going to come save you, or Elon and his gang of fucking computer experts. But
Well, I'm not stupid, to be honest with you. I just did it so I could meet Tulsi. So, you know,
well, you can bank. Not a bad approach. But
Yeah.
you can bank on one thing, man. We the people,
Now, hold on.
people
I
are
wa-
interested in hearing the truth.
I want to meet Tulsi Gabbard, but then I also want to go falconry hunting with fucking Bobby Kennedy. He's a falconer, you know. So I want to go falconry hunting with Bobby. You know, I'm a master falconer. You know, years ago I used to be a master baiter, but you know that now I'm just a master falconer. So
Too old for that. What was that thing that you said about the monkeys earlier? What was the ones that fuck it out or whatever?
oh, the bonobos,
What?
the bonobos,
Bonobo style, right there. Yeah.
Yeah. the bonobo.
Damn, that joke would have been funnier if I could remember bonobo.
Well, here, watch. I'll teach you something else about chimpanzees real quick. You know, a male chimpanzee, if he ever figures out how to do that, breed.
He'll what?
He'll never breed. If he learns how to masturbate, he will never breed.
He don't
Really?
put up with no
He will,
woman's shit.
he will go right over to the women and jack it right in front of them, like, I don't need you, bitch.
This could go south real fast. This could go south so fast. Hey,
Any-
listen.
That's what I do on my other channel.
Any of your chimp breeders back in the day, they used to hate it when they would see their male chimps figure out how to oppose that thumb. You know,
So that's what opposing thumbs are for.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, this whole time I thought it was for like writing scripture and opening car doors. Now I fucking know. Damn. No wonder we were getting shit done with or without the opposite sex.
Writing scriptures down. I thought that was what it was for too.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to write instructions on how to oppose the thumb.
You know what? I don't think that WAP song is about worship and prayer either. I listened to it.
Now that you think about it, WAP is about a lot. It's a deeper song than you thought.
It's
got
deep.
a lot deeper meaning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just soaked with a lot of deep meaning.
Right. Those kids lied to me.
You know, Joe,
All right.
You know, Joe Exotic got him a new boyfriend again now, don't you?
No, we don't. See, that's the thing. We all need your updates. So,
Oh my God, since he's been in jail, he's had like 5 or 6 fucking boyfriends.
well, he don't have a choice of which.
Not if he took the honey bun.
No, but the psychotic dumbass, back when he first got put in jail, I don't know what the hell she's called. She was his power of attorney, but she was running all his social media platforms and shit. She put on some contest, win a fucking date with Joe Exotic, blah, blah, blah. This boy, I forget what the hell his name was, but this boy won. Joe was, next thing you know, engaged to him, and this guy's on the outside. Come to find out, it was all a setup. This boy has a kid, has all kinds of shit. He was getting money. Joe was paying his fucking apartment, paying for his car, all kinds of shit. That's how stupid Joe is.
Joe's a sucker, ain't he? Sounds like.
But Joe has mental issues big time. And what I mean by that, if Joe thinks he don't have a boyfriend for 3 seconds, he freaks the fuck out.
I know the type.
I mean, he freaks out. He has to have somebody to claim as his own. And now he's got this new little illegal alien.
Imagine coming to America for a better life, and now you
stuck with Joe Exotic.
He's in jail for human trafficking and shit and everything else. Hopefully, he's going to be one of them they fucking go and deport. Because,
oh my God, it's so wild. No wonder they made the fucking #1 on Netflix for like y'all are crazy.
Oh, Joe is a nut job from the get go. I mean, it just he begs Donald Trump for a pardon one day, then the next day he's calling him a troll and bad mouthing him, and he's a mess.
What's with you all begging Trump for shit?
Yeah.
What's with there?
Well, he's got everybody hoping for $5,000 now.
He does, yeah.
Well, I'll bet you $5,000 you never see that $5,000.
I don't know about that, Flo. You might get to 5,000. He bought his way out of COVID too. Hey, before we hang, I'm about to hang this up. All right, we've been on here for a long time, and I know you, Tim. It don't matter when we do this. This could be fucking middle of the night or whatever when you first get up. Tim can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on for days at a time. So he's worse than me, and you put me and him together. We've done this before, dude. We tried to do a 30-minute episode once, and it was like 3 fucking hours long, Flo.
If I have a story, I'll make one up, by God.
Here's what I'd like to ask. Would you mind showing your that wood creation you showed me in Flo earlier?
Do what?
Tim is a hell of an artist.
Oh.
Tim is a hell of an artist. I didn't even know he did this. So hold on. Let me put you on big screen. How do I do it, Flo? Like this?
The 3 dots on the top of his little video box square.
Oh wait, on his video box. Okay, I got you. Let's see, solo layout. Look at this, y'all. Let me move the.
Is it all in the picture? I can't tell.
No, pull it back just a little bit. Look how detailed this. That is badass. What do y'all think of that? It's a wood burning.
That's just one I did the other night.
All right, now how do I fix it, Flo? Now how do I get it back to?
Here, hold it right there.
Same 3 buttons.
Shit, hold on a second. Here, watch this. Oh, I went sideways, didn't I? There. Here.
Same 3 dots in the top right corner, and then exit solo layout.
Okay.
Here, this one here I just finished last night. Shit.
Wow, man.
My damn finger's in the way or something, there, ain't it?
We can see it though. That's really good, Tim.
How long does that take you?
Here, if you want to watch real realistic, I'll get this one into there. Where the hell's my hand in the fucking way? There.
Wow, man. How do you get the? Is it paint too?
It's colored pencil. Sometimes I paint them. Sometimes I color pencil them. Sometimes I just leave them burnt wood. Like here's one that's got a lot of color in it.
Flo was trying to hurry up and eat while he wasn't on camera, and I busted him.
I was.
The night's got a lot of color in it.
Here, we'll put him back up. Hold on, man. Hold on. I almost removed him from stage on accident. Wow, man. That is awesome, dude.
And that one there's got a lot of color. And I mean, I've got 40 or 50 of these damn things sitting here that I've done up. I mean, I'm sitting there bored shitless day after day after day after day. Here,
man, you should be making money off that.
I grew up in Sellersburg, Silver Creek Dragons.
Hell yeah, man. Wow. Put it on the chat if you would hang that stuff on your wall.
I mean, I've got so much.
I actually have a request from someone on my side. Caucasian Sasquatch wants a Sasquatch in all white. In white.
Just for something different.
Oh, wow, man. Wizard of Oz. What do you think here, Tim? Can you do Caucasian Sasquatch in white?
Ain't nothing I can't do.
Name your price.
I've got, and that's the thing about it. I don't work for McDonald's wages. So.
See, there you go, Caucasian. You're going to have to come up with a good price for this.
Sounds like you work for free.
I do. I mean, actually, literally, I sell these things for chump change, compared to what they're worth. I mean, just like that damn gorilla that I did, I've got about 9.5, 10 hours in on that. So, I mean, when you look at it and people think I'm nuts, I'll ask like $150 for it or whatever. And they think, oh, damn, that's expensive. It's like, I'm still under McDonald's employees' wages.
When you first, I'm going to be honest, when you first said just like that damn gorilla, I was thinking you had a wood burning of a gorilla playing with some titty nipples in the background somewhere. Just like that damn gorilla in KoKo. Always playing with them boobies. It's a wild story. I don't know. This has been a fun night, man.
I got one last question. Can I get one last question in? What's your opinion on Luna the Panther in Siberian Russia? It's got a husky Rottweiler mix as her playmate and a best friend. She lives in their house with them.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely outstanding. My male lion, his best friend he lived with for 11.5 years was a damn Great Pyrenees dog. And they were best of buddies. That lion would kill to protect that dog.
It's probably vice versa too. The
Yeah.
Pyrenees are known for protecting.
Yep. But I mean, they were the best of buddies. I mean, luckily I just got in 2 female lioness cubs, females. And I knew that dog was getting old. And I kept wondering, I thought, oh, fuck, what's this lion going to do when this damn dog falls over dead? Uh-oh, I fucked up, didn't I?
What'd you do?
I don't know. Hold on.
Turn his camera off. There you go.
I don't know. I'm trying to answer somebody's damn message. They messaged me and it fucked me all up. But that dog, I was so worried about what that lion would do when that dog died. Luckily I got in them 2 female lions. And so that gave him something else to think about. But I mean, when that dog died, that lion, I mean, mourned like a motherfucker. I mean, just whined and cried, kept going over, looking, trying to figure out where his dog was at. It was pathetic.
So you don't think with your experience having these animals like as a pet is not necessarily a bad thing?
No, it's all in how you raise them, and it's all in the responsibility you take. I mean, was I irresponsible over the year? Well, hell yeah, everybody is. No matter who it is, no matter what you're in, everybody's irresponsible at what they do. So I never tried to get anybody hurt, never tried to do anything, but as long as you do it responsibly, I think everybody. Now, I disagree with the way they do it, and that's one thing I will stand up for. I stand up for the animals. I don't think anybody, like when I first got my first tiger, I just wanted a fucking tiger and made some phone calls and got one. I got my license through USDA. They just handed it to me. I applied for it. They said, here you go, dipshit. And they shouldn't give out licenses like that. When you're talking large, dangerous, Class A predators, lions, tigers, bears, hyenas, all that kind of shit, you should have to, go through a test. You should have to prove your knowledge that you know what you're getting yourself into. You're willing to take on those responsibilities, and everything else. In order to, like I said, I was a master falconer, which is dealing with the birds of prey, which are absolutely no threat to a man at all. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you heard of a hawk or an eagle or something attacking somebody? You don't hear it. They're not a threat to man. But yet I had to pass a fucking test in order to get my falconer's license. But yet I didn't have to do anything to acquire a fucking lion, tiger, bear, hyena, or any of that shit. I think it should be regulated, that you should have to, because a lot of people get into it, whether it's a big cat or a monkey or whatever. It's all because of the cuteness. Well, that cuteness fucking wears off. And then you have an animal that you're not going to control if you don't know how.
Right.
I knew somebody who got a pet tiger. She was with a drug dealer for was her boyfriend. It was a bling bling pet.
I went in on a drug bust years ago where the state called me in back when they used to like me.
Mm-hmm.
They went in on a drug bust up just south of Minneapolis one time, and instead of having a Rottweiler guard in their stash, they had a big Bengal tiger laying there.
Did it work?
They had no clue what to do. They heard about me and they called me, and I took my case and went right up. You know,
You got to did you get to the stash first before the police?
Right.
didn't get it, which I should have, because hell, they were all scared to go in the house. So
We've got a Good Samaritan thing being offered that you might be able to do to take some of your time. Bubble Wrap here. We're praying for you, Bubble Wrap. Her husband is dealing with stage 4 cancer. And she says that she would love to pay you to get a wood burning portrait of her and her husband. If you're interested, or if you can, or if you have time. And I mean, that's amongst a lot of, like, there's been a lot of people who, as soon as they saw your wood burning, they're like, we want a piece too. But I really like the thought for Bubble Wrap here, you know.
yeah, I mean, I like that. The only thing about it is I don't mind it, but damn, I hate doing fucking murals. You know, murals are hard to do. They're so much more time consuming because you got to go so much slower, and it's a long process doing wood burnings. But I mean, I have to think about it, but it is murals. Here, I did a mural the other day. You'll recognize this guy.
But
you mean with like more than one person in? When you say mural, you mean more than one thing in it?
The murals of people, when you're doing people portraits, you know, it's.
But Bubble Wrap, we are here for you and praying for your husband. So
Here. See if you recognize this one.
Hang on, we'll go full screen here. See if I recognize it.
Oh, hold on, got him up sideways. There.
She really
that's better.
To fuck your brains out.
Oh, crikey, it's a crocodile.
Yep.
Watch out for the stingray.
Did the legend himself.
Was that too soon?
Yeah.
Should we be doing this? Is it too soon?
No, it's been long enough. Jokes are on the table.
You know,
I don't know how long, you know what I mean? 10 years, 20, 50, like next day. Like, I don't know.
Do what?
The too soon jokes.
Nah, there's never too soon. Never.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up. I'm getting old. It's my body is telling me that it's Sunday. I've been getting back to work lately, guys, like regular work. And yeah, I'm usually in bed by around 11:30 on Sunday nights, unless Flo's keeping me up with some crazy bullshit on his panel.
That is true.
You had me up all night one fucking night.
a couple nights.
I'm usually up all night every night. Like I said, I don't sleep, so I sit here and do these wood burning.
Well, send him a link to my channel.
Yeah.
I did put it backstage, I think, but you send him a link to my channel because I do a lot of open panels, and then people can come up and join at their own leisure.
Yeah, you'd have fun up there, Tim.
No, all right. I don't know nothing about it. I'm technology wise, y'all looking at the dumbest fucker on the planet.
You just figured it out. You just did it here. This was his first stream.
Okay. So yeah, exactly what we're doing here. I do this a lot of these, but I'll open. So I'll drop the link so other people can come and go.
All right. Cool.
So it's not necessarily just 2 or 3 people on his. People come in and out. But you did a good job tonight, Tim. I'm proud of you for figuring out how to.
Single racial slur all night, huh?
You did a really good job. No racial slurs. He watched his language.
Yeah,
he even caught himself a couple times. You know.
Yep.
And he breached the subject of like homophobia and transvestites and stuff like that, and didn't even overstep. Really proud of you, Tim. Good job, buddy.
See there, I did good. I'm off my medication. A different guy now.
Damn, I like it.
I went off all my medication and everything. They told me I'm nuts, but I went off of it. I said, fuck it.
Well, you're doing great, man.
Was that part of the jail stay? I know that in jail they didn't know.
I've been off that shit for about 6 months now, and I'm like, screw that medicine. Hell, they had me on all that antidepressant and all that bullshit. Screw that.
Fuck all that stuff.
Screw that.
It's probably making you worse.
Oh,
you
I've
know?
been so damn long through all that trauma shit that I went through. I was on it actually right before I got started on that stuff. Well, actually, when it first started back in 2015, I guess it was, I started taking anxiety medication and antidepressant and everything else. That's the only way you could cope with shit. But now I was like, I'm tired of this crap. You no longer know who you are, what you're doing. You just don't give a fuck. And I'm like, that's no way to be. So
Right.
hey,
Well, you seem to be coping with things.
Those,
Go ahead.
those pills, those anxiety pills, are no joke to get off of.
Yep.
They put you on that shit, and then they say you're nuts because you're on it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And then when off of it, they want to take you to the next level instead of taking you down a level. Like years ago, I was hooked on Percocet. I had my legal drug dealer called a doctor, and he was prescribing me 180 Percocet 10 a month. I was
Lucky.
eating them like Pez candy. And then the last time I ever went to see him, he said, "Oh, we need to get you off of this Percocet. Let's put you on Oxycontin." I got up, gave him the finger, and walked.
Every time I hear Oxycontin, I think of that Bobo say Oxycontin. Whatever. All right, y'all. I'm gonna fall asleep, man. I gotta go to bed. It's been too much.
All right,
fun.
it was good talking to you guys.
We will see you soon. Tim's gonna be back. Flo ain't going nowhere unless y'all piss him off. So again, mods, I'm not seeing it. If y'all could put Flo's link in chat. Tim,
I'm not staying live right now. I am shutting down too.
Okay,
but I appreciate the plug, but I am not staying on right now.
No, but people still need to go sub and hit the notification bell for your channel. So if we do that, if you guys can put that in, and I know I'm used to having 400 or 500 in my chat, so like I wouldn't want to miss something like that, like an opportunity to plug. But it's still, I mean, we're 40 right now, and we've been on forever. It's because of Tim. No offense, Flo, but
none taken.
Everyone wants to see these crazy ass Tiger King guys come up here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, we love you, Tim. He's just a regular dude. Like he's just another good guy. I've known him for a long time. And
this dude broke up a bear fight with a rake. This is not a regular dude.
I'd have to agree with you on that. He's different than regular, but he's still I don't know how to put it.
Still dumber than shit. So
he's Tim. What can I say? Like, a couple weeks ago, somebody was talking about exotic animals, and I mentioned I was in chat, and I was like, "Yeah, I got a friend that was on Tiger King," and there was like 20 people were like, "Fuck you, you fucking liar! You're so full of shit." I was like, you know what? I ain't going there, man. Fuck y'all. Whatever.
But most people have no clue who I am. They don't recognize me off Tiger King because Tiger King 2, most people didn't even watch Tiger King 2. I was the least recognized person on Tiger King 1, and that's where I have another lawsuit, is they didn't have a contract signed with me for Tiger King 1.
Not only that, but the way they did you on that, man, I don't think many people watching agreed with it. You know what I'm saying? Even though they painted it.
That's where I need lawyers, but like I said, like I told you earlier today, when they drain you of every lousy stinking penny you have, you can't afford a lawyer anymore. They win. Right. That was their goal. They left. That's why they left me penniless.
And they took everything you had, which was worth millions.
And then they also got awarded attorney fees, PETA, $754,000 that I had to pay them.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have you back up multiple occasions. We'll be able to talk about different subjects, and of course, we've already made the promise to the audience. Now, Tim, we got to get that video put together that we've been talking about for a year.
Hey, you got a fucking mouse in your pocket or what? Because I just heard you say the word "we."
Yeah, I might need some information from you along the way and some clips. So you're gonna be the mouse in my pocket. We'll go get her done, buddy.
If I touch your button, it's gonna break. I can probably.
I know. Yeah, I know about your tech tardness. It's all right. We'll figure it out. All right. Love you, Flo. Thanks for coming up, man. The titty expert himself, Flo State, otherwise known as the Powdered Dusty. Thank you all for coming. Last minute stream. We did pretty well. I think it was fun. Had a good time talking about a lawsuit for gorillas demanding to see women's titties and getting, I don't know, sued for, what do you call it? Sexual
harassment
at work. Yeah. So Gorilla got sued for sexual harassment in the workplace.
Well,
Facts.
I vote for the girls that had the titties. So
So see y'all's tits on the next one. Love y'all. Have
Later.
a good night.